Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week, in Magnolia, Texas, a long bubbling family feud erupts when it's proven that you never move your new trailer too close to your old one. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us again on another wonderfully crazy, insane edition of Small Town Murder. It's a wild one today. As usual, we've had a string of pretty crazy ones.
You're really getting good, James.
Last week, I got to say, that story was just, the guy had a lion, for Christ's sake. I mean, you just can't, you can't make shit like that up.
And you wouldn't guess that it's not involved in the murder.
That's what bananas. I mean. I said the lion is the most stable character in this. And somebody tweeted and said, I hope the lion wasn't used in it. I said, most stable character in the entire story is the lion. I'd trust the lion with my children before anyone else in the story. Put it that way. Just stay here with the lion, pet it if you get bored. I don't know. It's easy. It's better than being with the guy who owns it because he keeps a lion bat with him at all times. And he's a crazy person. But yes, thank you guys for everything. Right away, first of all, I have to thank you for all of your iTunes reviews this week. Purple icon, whatever that is, Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for those. They mean the world to us. I know we say it all the time, but it's really true. We don't understand it. It's iTunes. They have a funky algorithm, like we've said a trillion times. It dances to a weird beat. We don't understand it. It's a weird, the charts are a weird combination of listening and the reviews, and the reviews weigh heavily. So if you haven't done it yet, please help us out. It helps drive us up the charts, let more people see the show, and just give us 5 stars there on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and it doesn't matter what you say. It's not for our ego. Really, you can't fix us. Put it that way. It's just for business purposes, so please do that. Also, go to shutupandgivememurder.com. That is very important because you're going to get, first of all your merchandise. Pocket Robin t-shirts are up and flying off the shelves.
Absolutely.
And you're also going to get tickets to live shows because they're selling fast. So you need to do that. With the whole tour is up on shutupandgivememurder.com. And some of them are sold out already. Omaha, Kansas City, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, they're all gone. There's no more tickets to those. I mean, hopefully we'll go back next year, but those are gone. Things are going quick. Ohio, Cleveland, Columbus. We have Orlando and Tampa, and
those are going to be great.
Those are going to be great. And the California, San Diego, LA are the kind of the first run. Get those tickets now. Rock it out. We hope to see you there.
Can't wait to see you there.
Can't wait because we do.
It's going to be great.
Not to toot our own horns, but we put on a hell of a live show.
A fun one, man.
The live show's better than this, I would say, like in terms of laughs. And it's this, plus you're going to see all this stuff because we have visuals and our own stuff that we put up. So it's quite the adventure. We'll put it that way.
It's nice to get the reward of them participating with us. You know what I mean?
We want you to feel like when you buy a ticket to see us, we want you to feel like, because we're comedians. So like we have a live, this is what we do. We're not fucking around. We're not going out there just, reading and going, okay, let's get through it. We want to kill. So when we go out there, we want this to be, we want you to walk out going, Jesus, I'd have paid 3 times more than I paid to see that show. It was worth that much. That's what we want you to think.
Absolutely.
You got 3 times your money's worth at one of our shows. So please come see us and check out everything on the site too. Do all that stuff. You can be one of our hero producers who we're going to gush about at the end of the show about how much we love. You can do that extremely easily by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or heading to PayPal and using our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com. to make a donation that way. And you can get to both of those through shutupandgivememurder.com also. It's a one-stop shop there. Do that. Disclaimer time. Got to do that. This is a comedy podcast, everybody. It's a comedy show. All the facts are true. It's not a made-up comedy show. Everything really happened, but we're comedians. We make jokes about stuff. Otherwise, this wouldn't be a comedy show. You wouldn't want us doing it. You'd want, Dateline doing it because...
With a much better voice than me.
And somebody who knows how, you would want a different presentation, but we try to inject a little bit of comedy into the whole thing because people say, what's so funny about murder? A whole lot of shit, not about the actual death, but a lot of stuff that goes around something that would bring people to escalate to the point of murder is pretty crazy. And so we talk about it, we make fun of it. What we try not to do though is to make fun of the victims or the victims' families because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
That's true.
So that's how we try to do that. And it's a good time, and we hope you're going to enjoy it. And if you are, good. If not, if you don't think true crime and comedy ever go together, you should go now. Because you're not going to like the show. And so why bother? Why make us both sad? So just go now. And for the rest of you, though, we're going to have a blast. And I think you should stand up on your cubicle, hang your head out the car window, shout it out in the middle of the gym. Who cares? Why lift something over your head and shout, shut up and give me murder? Let's do this. Let's go.
Bunch of 12-pound barbells.
I love it. People are like, who the hell? This psychopath lifting weights, yelling, shut up and give me murder. They're going to be on a fucking watch list, for Christ's sake. That's all right, though. We're worth the watch list, we think, this show. Let's go on a trip, Jimmy. What do you say?
I'm into it.
All right. We've had some wild ones lately. We went from Kentucky out to Utah last week.
That's where I was at.
For explosions and body parts and torsos being found and
3-2 beer,
fucking lions and weird beer. And I think they were probably driving across the border there to get the real stuff. In Idaho, they don't play that shit. They get drunk in Idaho.
They do still, but I don't know. Some of it.
They're getting hammered now because they're attached to Canada.
They are.
So it's funny that they're attached to two places that have completely Canada's beer is strong as shit. You're getting hammered off that, and then Utah beer is piss water. So it's like
it's the Rockies.
We're going, it's very, very strange. But we're going down to Texas today. Back to Texas. It's been a while since we've been to Texas. It's been over a year.
Was that Gun Barrel?
That was Gun Barrel City.
Wow.
We're going to Magnolia, Texas, though, which sounds like a Texas town. Magnolia. It's as Texas as you get. It's in southeastern Texas, which, if viewed properly, Texas, any part of it can be a panhandle.
That's true.
It's just a bunch of different things. It looks like they put 4 states together. Got one on the side, one on the top, some here, and stick some in the... We'll take some of Mexico and stick that on the bottom, too. It's pretty much what they have here.
Mexico right up Texas's ass.
That's it. It's all panhandles. It's the whole goddamn place.
Okay.
So it's there. It's 50 minutes outside of Houston. So you could commute to Houston from here if you
Magnolia.
if you really wanted to. It's in kind of the, not quite the suburban, but kind of the outer rings of suburban. But this is more of a rural spot that we're going to talk about today. 2 hours and 15 minutes over to Austin. If you want to go someplace that's, I don't know, probably better, I would assume. And then if you want to go someplace worse, yeah, it's pretty much a lateral move. You can go to 3 hours away to Gun Barrel City, Texas. Oh, boy.
3 hours?
3 hours away to Gun Barrel City, which is episode 68, which we did like May 7th of last year. Yeah. So it's been over a year since we've hit Texas. It's a big state, and there's a lot of murder, so it's hard to not go to Texas a lot for this show. Texas, Florida, these states, like, they have so many murders. I'm tempted. It could be every other week, those states. Instead, I got to dig out shit about Utah where they don't kill each other as much. It's just not fair.
That's why there's a podcast about just Florida crime.
Just Florida, yeah.
And we thought about doing that 3 years ago.
Yeah, as like a joke.
Now
we were like, wouldn't it be funny if you just did that? That's pretty weak. And then they know somebody does it. So good for them. I don't know. But yeah, this is Montgomery County, Texas. Yeah. Zip code 77353. It's got 2 area codes, very special. 281 and 832. Okay. I'm fucking around here. We need lots of area codes to cover this.
To hide.
That's right. 2.8 square miles, this place is. It's got several mottos. Yeah. Several we'll get into here. The first one I don't understand, and I've looked it up and I've tried to figure it out, and I really, really can't find it. It's home of red.
Who is he?
I don't know. That's what I mean. Red Fox? Is Red Fox from there? But maybe there's only one D.
Maybe they invented the color there.
The home of red. We looked down, we saw red, and we went, that's red now.
We're choosing that.
We're choosing it. They didn't realize that people have been, you know.
It's a primary color, dickheads.
We've been parsing colors for millennia. I mean, they haven't realized that, though. They're just like, it's red now. See the ground when it's wet?
Yeah.
Looks it's brown still, but it looks red. That's red. Also, they use, this is on their town website, quote, a community of unity.
I was excited, and then it was fucking...
Ooh, they did that. Somebody was shot up from their bed.
Yeah.
Some city council member awoke at 3 o'clock in the morning with a start, shot up in bed, woke his wife up. Honey. She was like, huh, what? Are you going to rape me again? He's like, no, I can do that right now. He's like a Texas city councilman, I figured.
I'm exhausted from that.
He's like, gee.
Last night.
He's like, no, none of that stuff, but I got an idea. Yeah. Listen to this. Community of unity. And she went, and rolled back over, and then he was like,
you woke me for that
she
shit?
knows it's fucking brilliant. She knows. And he showed up the next day with a shit-eating grin on his face.
Wrote it on a t-shirt.
One index card in front of him, placed it down all cockily, and he's like, I got the answer right here, everybody. Like, what could be on the index card? And that came out.
Community. They're like,
boom.
Ted's a genius.
Ted?
God damn it, Ted.
God damn it, Ted. He's going to be mayor someday. I'm telling you that right now.
Is that what he was?
I have no idea who the hell any of these people are. These are all made-up people, but the slogan's true.
Yeah.
Or there's another one here that's a little less used, and I see why, because it's a little wordy for a slogan, but fuck it. I mean, it is what it is. It's, quote, I think this is far enough away from Mexico. Shit, never mind.
Keep going.
So that's what... They keep that one under wraps.
Yeah.
They don't want anybody to know about that one. History of Magnolia here. The first settlement in this town in this area was named Mink Prairie. Mink, not because there's minks running around.
I don't think there's minks there.
That's not mink country down there, I don't think. You could probably raise a mink anywhere. I think you put them in a cage anyway.
Indoors, controlled environment, anything can thrive.
Stick them in a garage and they'd be fine, I'm sure.
You can grow weed in your garage.
That's what I mean. You can make fucking really good, like, hydro grow in a closet, no problem. So I don't see why you can't do that.
So you can raise a mink anywhere.
Yeah. It was founded in about 1845, and this was a farmer named Mink. That was his name.
Right.
He built a homestead. Back then, if there's a big swath of unoccupied land, if you just plopped your ass down, they'd name shit after you. You just had to be there.
Especially with a name like Mink. That's easy.
Somebody showed up and like, what is this place? And they were like, it's dirt.
Who lives
red.
here?
It's red. They're like, what's your name? Mink? This is Mink. We just found the town of Mink right here, I think. And that's it. Next thing you know, history books.
Who the hell are you? You're clearly the spokesman for this town.
Obviously.
I'm Mink.
I'm Mink. Why? Because it's just you. So if you have enough property.
The only guy I've seen so far.
Screw it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So it was Mink Prairie. And then by 1850, they shortened the town name just to Mink to make it slick.
One syllable.
We're like, it's jazzier.
Yeah.
We like it. Hey,
it's real quick.
It's snappy.
It makes people think there's coats.
Makes people think there's coats and hats and dancing here.
Real nice shit.
Dancing girls happening. So, yeah, after the Civil War, the population actually swells in this town because it was just barren before that. And then after the Civil War, people started rushing in from Kentucky and Tennessee and all these places that were fucked up by the Civil War. Yeah. If you've ever driven through Tennessee, it's just every other exit is Civil War battleground, Civil War battleground, place where a bunch of people died. 10,000 soldiers died of disease right here.
Shit those battlegrounds were fucked up.
Oh, they fucking destroyed everything. And also a lot of people just wanted to get the hell. If you just went through all these years of battle, those 5 years of war and all this, you might just go, fresh start? What do you think?
So fresh, no town. Let's just go make one.
Mink, there's a guy there. Right. I don't know. It's red, I hear. We're going to go and check it out. So it's one of those deals where people just ran away. The ground smoldered for years afterwards. So many people came in that they ended up building a post office in 1885.
There you go.
Shit, we need mail.
Yeah.
These fucking people need to mail things. In 1902, the International Great Northern Railroad, which is Union Pacific Line now, decided to build a railroad just north of Mink. Okay, so now we get a Blazing Saddles, switch the Rock Ridge fake town situation now where people are like, we have a town here, and then right over there they built a railroad. Be really sweet if the railroad butted right up to the town so we could, put shit on it and get out of here and take goods and service. Fuck. Well, but they built it too far away. You know what we do? Let's just move.
How many times do they do this?
Company moved. The whole town decided we're moving closer to the railroad, and they just fucking picked up their town and moved it a little closer to the railroad.
Wouldn't it be cheaper just to be like, we'll build the track to come through here?
It would have been cheaper to bribe a fucking railroad executive to put it. That's what you did back then. That's the goddamn plot of Blazing Saddles. So, you know what I mean? Besides the other stuff, the railroad coming through and bribery to the governor. That's the whole thing.
This is crazy that this is the third time this has happened.
It would have cost them less to pool up money to bribe the right guy to get the fucking railroad to come
Done deal.
right by the town depot or the post office or whatever. Instead, they just moved the whole town closer. So
how fucking portable was a town back then?
It was all made of wood and shit, so there was no foundations. It's Texas. They weren't digging into the fucking dirt.
Everything was dirt floors?
I suppose it's the 1800s.
Wood floors, I
don't know how really settled these Kentuckians got and Tennessee people if they dug into the ground. I feel like they just knocked it down and took the wood up 100 yards.
I just can't see all that effort. As somebody said, we're moving the town to get to the
town?
I guess I'll be on the outskirts of town now.
I'm in the burbs.
Yeah.
This is great.
See you around, guys.
I'm starting this. This is the suburbs.
Right.
I'm naming this. See, if we could just get if I could get a road that would go maybe a 6-lane, a real a freeway type of thing going.
I can just go I'm free as I want
to the railroad, maybe, if we could really work this out.
So silly.
It's really fucking silly, and it gets even sillier because the town is named Melton, Melton. This is in honor of a local wealthy landowner who lives there. They named the town after him, who already was there. And so everybody came. By the way, did they lay the town out the same? That's what I'm thinking. Were they like, all right, Bob, your shit goes 10 feet that way, motherfucker. You don't try to take a piece of my fucking yard now.
You are encroaching on my family.
Yeah, let's no, we were this fucking far apart. Did they have to survey the whole thing, plot it out? The store goes here, this goes there. No fucking moving. People are going to be confused, God damn it.
But there's a big rock where my house was. Well, then your house doesn't exist.
You know what?
You live on the rock.
You got a rock feature in your living room now. It's beautiful. It's natural.
Sounds to me like you
Gonna
got a
look
boulder,
nice.
Bob.
Sorry about that. But the post office kept fucking up and confusing the name with a different town called Milton. So none of the mail was going right.
Oh, no.
Things were so there was be like they would think that was Milton, so they'd get Milton's mail, and then Milton would get Melton's mail, and
Oh, Jesus.
Melton would get Milton's mail. It's not great. So finally, the local officials said, "We're not fucking Melton bullshit. Magnolia, you people." Railroad movers,
How
fucking
fascinating
Magnolia.
is that? They just kept all M names.
It's a pattern.
Meeks, Milton, and then
Yeah, it's
Magnolia.
Milton, Mink, and Magnolia. And then in 1903, they actually moved the post office because they left the post office behind when they moved. Apparently, that didn't move. That's a federal thing. You can't pick up and move the post office.
I guess that's what it is.
And it probably takes time, especially back then.
Right.
Now there's like email and shit, but back then, imagine the paperwork to move a post office. There'd be a telegraph and a letter that took a guy on a horse had to bring it to somebody, and then they had to think about it for a while and dip their pen in it's ridiculous.
There was a postmaster general or some shit, right?
Yeah.
That oversaw all of it.
Oh yeah, but he sits on top of like a mountain in Nepal somewhere.
Right.
So to get him a letter to get his approval, it takes a while.
Send a mink.
It takes a while. It's the only way. It's the only way you clip it to them. So yeah, that's what ends up happening. The town ends up moving, and then the old town of Mink became completely abandoned.
Okay.
So they were like, look at that shithole. It's like the old mall it turned into now. It turned into the bad mall. There was like a Sears appliance center in it, or like one of those Sears home service centers or some shit.
Spencer's store and like
that was gone a long time ago.
Airbrush hat.
Yeah,
shop.
no. They brought in like a half price books. That's what they put in, and they put it in like one of the big anchor stores, even though it's only got like 4 kiosks of books. One of those things.
Yeah.
I feel like. And by 1915, there was 150 people here. They had a telephone service, a sawmill, a Baptist, and a Methodist church.
Oh.
Holy shit! I'm surprised they didn't all kill each other
kidding.
back then. There was no way of stopping
Civil
them.
War?
Yep, I'm very surprised. 2 general stores. Because that one fucking gouger.
He's real busy, too.
You know how that goes.
There's enough
Yeah,
people.
it's goddamn bastard.
He's only got 2 checkout stands.
He just pissed enough people off because he was like, I'm the only general store in town. No, that's how much it is. Sorry there, Cletus. And finally they were like, we're opening another fucking store. We'll do it in the old town. We don't care. They had a physician, railroad agency, obviously. They had a hotel. Oh, boy.
Nice.
A real estate office.
Yeah.
There's only 150 people. How many sales you making a year?
1, maybe 2.
I made 2 sales this year, honey. I made $14.
It's 2 square miles. It's not worth moving anywhere.
That's what
If
I
you're
mean.
moving, you're moving the fuck out of town.
You're selling them a plot of dirt with maybe a shabbily constructed wooden structure on it. That's enough to get you by. They had a cattle dealer, which I feel like was like a car dealership back then. Druggist, a confectionery, a cotton gin, and a blacksmith. So it's doing well. And then it comes by 1924, a bunch of sawmills were opened up in town. So there's some work for them. All sorts of general stores, saloons. It becomes like, an early 20th century kind of old westy town, sort of like a new westy, old westy town. They had everything there, tanning yards and garages and feed stores and shipping places. Everything.
Tanning for, I guess.
Yeah. They didn't have a bunch of ladies laying out. It's a very, very new technology.
Leather.
Yeah.
Got it.
They were all 2 treatments and you were incurable cancer. You'd be dead in 6 months. It was brand new. Jesus
That's how
Christ.
dumb I am. I hear tanning. I'm like, that shit didn't even get invented
Come
yet.
on, James, don't lie to me. You were like, you're full of shit, bro. I know that you do your research, but I'm not buying this. So by the 40s, they had an oil field over east of town, which that's going to draw jobs there and people. So the population increases to 400 by the 40s, well, for the war effort and all that. They had a railroad station, all this shit. They finally built a cemetery. They had 45 houses
Where
back
were
then.
they putting the dead bodies?
Well, they had and they used to build like small family plots back then, like where you'd have like almost in your yard, you'd have your family plot, like Ree Drummond does on that fucking awful Frontier Woman, whatever the hell show. They're all buried in the yard. Their mom, the kid. Okay, I get the family, but the fucking cowboys that worked there,
crazy.
it's bad enough that you had to work under these people. Once you die, you stay on the ranch.
You go way further under them?
Jesus Christ! No, we own the corpse. Sorry. Missouri.
You know, yeah, they don't have families.
Nope, we own the
You can't
corpse.
send that to somebody.
Nope, buried right. They want to come visit them. They can come on our property, but they're going to have to ask first because it's our property. So sorry. So Missouri Pacific took over the railroad line in 1962. By then, they had 2 high schools. Holy shit! They had a landing field for small aircraft. A bunch of shit there. It was a big deal. Finally, the town is incorporated in 1968.
My God.
Took until then to incorporate this town. They don't like government in Texas.
I guess not.
It's one of those things. I don't know, maybe. They held an election in September of 68 to determine if the territory known as the town of Magnolia should be incorporated. They cast a total of 123 votes, 106 for, and 17 against. Who are those 17?
Holdouts.
I ain't being in no town. I ain't being a part of a town.
Incorporate me.
What are they going to have, a mayor now?
It's not going to change nothing.
What are they going to
just stay this?
They going to pick up garbage now? I want my garbage piling up. That's how I do it.
I burn mine. I don't need nobody to
just
pick it up.
burn it, and then if they get a what they going to have, police?
Is that what incorporation means? You're paying taxes now?
That just means that it's organized. Rather than the closest
they were probably paying
local
taxes
municipal.
before, right?
Well, they're paying county tax
Yeah.
because the county has to do everything. Then that's how it works. If the county authorities and county resources.
That's a lot longer to get your firemen there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. There's nothing close. Whereas if you have a town, you can do shit, and also you can then have more control. You can say, hey, we want to pave Main Street, and you don't have to go ask the county and go to the postmaster general in Nepal to find out. You can just approve it and get it done, and you guys can pay for it yourselves. So they had Cedric Smith served as the first mayor, whoever the hell that is, and there the population grew. By 1989, they had 124 businesses, but in the 80s, it went like up and down the population. People came, people left, and that also has to do with the oil booms and drops.
Sure,
because there was a big oil crisis in the 80s where the prices went up and people lost a shitload of money in that region. Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma. There was rich people that were broke and jumping out of windows.
The Saudis got real heavily involved in it.
It was another one of those because the 70s. It wasn't the original OPEC crisis. It was the 80s. This happened. So I do have a couple of 2-star reviews from residents here. No 1 stars, but 2 stars here. First one, quote: "This town is still. I see construction after years." I'm reading exactly what it says. Of developments being made. It causes accidents and large traffic holdups all day. This person just drives a lot. The students in this town are known for being extremely horrible children.
What's that to say?
All they care about is traffic. Yeah. There's construction and developments, and it's causing delays and accidents. This is ridiculous. Did I mention this? All the children are horrible. What the fuck? Extremely horrible. Sorry. Extremely horrible children. That's what this town's known for. That's the other motto. Wow.
That's somebody that doesn't have kids and never wanted them.
Never wanted
Hates
them.
Hates
them. Extremely horrible children. They get in the way of me driving, with all that construction.
Balls bouncing in the road and shit.
Jesus. Next one here is, quote: "The people here are clearly biased toward a certain race. There aren't many African Americans here, and as such, they're treated differently than the white population. It's a small town and has its charms in the forestry and old shops, but the people are also small-minded."
Texas.
Small towns in Texas. Sorry, Texas. But if you're listening to our show, you're one of the people going, yeah, I hate these fucking people in my town. That's probably who you are.
Small towns in Texas are very that.
Yeah.
I mean, you've experienced it.
Yeah. We drove through there. That's where Bobby, Colorado's from. So people in this town, population, 1,828 is the current population, up 95% since 1990. Yeah. So quite the jump since 90 into the suburbs. Median age is pretty much exactly the national average. It's 37.6. Very high demos, very high in the 21 to 24-year-olds is way off the charts. And the 65 to 74-year-olds is way off the charts. So it averages out to, but there's really not a lot of people in their mid-30s. There's less than normal, but that's the average. Married population is 50-50. It's just normal. Male, female are pretty close. A few more males because there's some outdoor shit to do job-wise. Kind of rugged, oil shit going on here. More males tend to take those. Little higher widow rate, but nothing to write home about. Most of the stats here, it's a pretty standard this is like average USA town kind of thing. It's really like small town, average. Race of this town, 58%, almost 59% white, which is actually less than the average. Average is about 61.5%. 13.5% black, which is above the average. It's 12.29 nationally, and 8.32% Hispanic. 19% are listed as 2 or more races. Okay. So it's what we've been talking about forever. They're doing it there.
The community of unity.
They're attempting beige babies there. They're like, we're doing this shit. We're beige, because anything you make, anything you mix, it's pretty much going to be beige,
right?
Unless it's like a Norwegian and a Chinese person.
Eventually, it'll be a beige Chinese person.
It's going to be not beige. It's going to be an odd child, but still.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
If you mix that, if you mix those two together,
be an albino Asian
it would
guy?
be a strange-looking Asian man. I don't know, but actually, probably handsome as shit. Probably come out just handsome. When you mix people together, they come out fucking good-looking, because genetic diversity is
dominant genes. Fucking really make something pretty fantastic.
Genetic diversity is what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you need here. So religion, that's about 53%, so it's a little high for religion. 20.5% Baptist, because Baptists are the Catholics of the South. And in Texas, you can say you're not the South and say you're your own thing, but you're the fucking South.
Yeah.
Sorry. Some of you are.
The majority.
The cities are
the majority of population, though.
It's the South. It's the South. It's 13% Catholic, because you're going to have your Hispanic population there also, and some Catholics. Who knows? 0.1% Jewish, 2.4% Islam.
How about that?
I would not expect that in a small Texas town, but okay. Voting in this town. This is in the county. The county, Montgomery County, which is kind of rural. There's not a lot of people there. It's about 400,000 in the whole county. 22% voted Democrat in the last election. 73% Republican. So it's a pretty red county. Unemployment rate here is about 3.8%. It's kind of right on with the rest of the U.S. Job growth is pretty good here, though. Median household income is $45,375, which is a little bit low. It's about $12,000 under our national average here. Most of the jobs, I'm looking at the jobs, 21.5% are construction, because it's just the boom of people moving there, which doesn't last forever.
No, it doesn't. And then it snows in Texas in a lot of areas. In the summertime, it's fucking miserable.
That's a tough life, man. That's tough. And it's a 6.2% construction for the rest of the country. Here, 21.5%. So you can see this is kind of a boom and bust kind of a place. Sure. Maybe why population went up and down. There's some retail trade, stuff like that. Not a lot of public administration. That's like way down. We don't want no damn libraries. So I don't want to do I want to do no public administration. Wait, does that come with a gun?
Right.
Do I get a gun? Well, all right, then. Shit, sign me up. So cost of living here, it's about 114 out of 100, if 100 is even par regular. 114 here. It's a little high. The housing is high. Yeah. That's what's the big thing that drives it up. Everything else is normal. Housing is about 148 out of 100. Median household or median home cost here is $279,300.
So much money.
So it's a little bit high. A lot of the houses are in the kind of $200,000 to $400,000 range. 50% of these houses were built after 1990.
Oh,
so it's just
after the boom.
Yeah, it's a new town. And if we've convinced you to move, anywhere to go, you have to go to Magnolia. We have the Magnolia, Texas Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here is about $1,210, which is pretty much average for the country. So that's below kind of market value here. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square foot house. Best way to describe it would be falling apart. Looks like if you went on the roof, it would be precarious. It's not a good house. Possibly manufactured looking. It's not a great house. $125,900 there. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,225 square foot house here. This is kind of your standard. It's a little bit nice size inside, but it's standard. There's nothing crazy fancy or broken about it. It's just kind of move-in ready, little family, not little, but nice size family house. $259,900. And then I found a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 4,000 square foot house that's big and nice. It looks like it's a little bit older, but it's nice still. Kept up pretty well. Needs some updating, but $349,900 there. Right. So you could move there.
For 4,000 square feet, that's affordable.
That's not bad. Yeah, for most places.
If you're making $42,000 a year, you can't afford it.
No, you're not getting that. Things to do, Magnolia days. Holy shit. Oh, yeah. Their slogan is, quote, big time fun in small town Texas. Magnolia days.
Good Lord.
And then a guy goes, pow, after he says that. In small town Texas, pow. Fires off a couple shots. So, it's the Columbus Chamber of Commerce does it here. The 2019 Magnolia Days Festival held on the courthouse square under the shade of 100-year-old live oak and magnolia trees. Holy shit. You step back in time, you can look at the most historic homes they have in town and shit. Shop till you drop in the vendor marketplace.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Sample tasty foods and beverages ranging from sweet and savory, not sweet to savory, ranging from sweet and savory to nothing. Nice. Who fucking wrote this? Jesus Christ. Texas, fucking write shit on your festival correctly. Anybody here graduate high school? Have a fucking basic knowledge of English? Okay, you write it then.
Ranging from sweet and savory.
Because Ted, from before, he didn't go fucking graduate.
He likes maple bacon, apparently.
He loves maple bacon a lot. Enjoy a frosty brew or delicious glass of vino in our beer garden and wine garden here. Bring the kids and make lasting memories in our family fun zone, which sounds gross. Yeah. But yeah, you need to mark your calendar, live oaks and live folks.
Is that what it says?
That's what it says. Jimmie, live oaks and live folks.
Well,
looks forward to seeing you.
Dead of either of those. I mean,
terrible.
I got no interest in dead oaks or dead folks.
Dead oaks with dead people hanging from them, just dangling from the tree, from their feet. Just fucking here. Anybody who dies, we just dangle them from the old magnolia tree. Like an ornament. Jesus Christ. Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in here. The property crime is right at average, actually, kind of right there. And violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is about 25% under the national average. So they're not that violent. Like I said, it's a real kind of basic small town. And some crazy shit happens in the outskirts here, though.
It usually does.
It does. And we're going to talk about somebody who ended up in this town. Kind of wandered through via other places.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, it's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure, yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com. Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Talk about Keith Stephen Thurmond. Okay. Keith Thurmond we'll talk about. He's born in October 31st, 1959. Halloween night in the end of the 50s. Mm-hmm. Everybody's very worried about the H-bomb. Yeah. It's a fucking tough time. His mother squeezed him out while worrying about Khrushchev. Just fucking what's going to happen? So he's born in Kentucky and kind of a rural guy. Born in rural Kentucky, meanders after high school. He drops out of high school in the 9th grade, which, like I said, I'm never the one to make fun of anyone for education, even though I just did about that one sentence. But you don't need to be a college graduate to know that you need when you have a range of things, you can't just have one thing. This and this.
You don't need to have a high school diploma for that.
No, that's just logic. Yeah. That my son would go, well, what's the range of the other part? At 12, he would say that. So I feel like, where's your range?
Salty and hot? Is that the next one?
Okay, here's that range. Right. Now what? Yeah, too hot and wet? I don't know what you're getting at. What are we talking about? So, but he drops out in the 9th grade, which I don't advise for anyone. I don't. Yeah, in college, for some people you can take or leave, you know what I mean? But before 9th grade, you don't learn everything.
No.
There's some shit you need to know just to be able to be in conversation and know things in the world from 9th grade on. I'm just saying. So
I think I stopped remembering shit in 9th grade.
Yeah.
But because after that I was like, when am I going to be somewhere? And somebody asked me, when was Abraham Lincoln the president?
See, I was very interested in shit like that.
Yeah, but see, you like that.
I like facts and shit like that.
I like hearing it. I go, wow, that's fascinating. Amazing. And then I fucking forget it.
See, that's amazing. I'll listen to an audiobook that's interesting and has a bunch of facts, like not for the show, just on my own. And I'm listening to this and I'm like, oh, that's fascinating. And as it's going, I'm like, I lost the ability to remember all of this. Right. Last chapter, I'm going to have to listen 4 more times to get all this. And that's what I do, and pound it into my fucking skull. But yeah, I stopped with math in 9th grade. I was like, well, I don't really need to know this past whatever test I have to take anymore.
Am I going to trigonometry my house?
Yeah, I'm not going to need this. Nothing I do will involve math. I can promise whoever that.
I loved it. I was great at math, and I loved learning it and then breaking down problems and then solving them. But then I'd go to the next class and it would be like English, and I'm like, look, I speak fine. What do we need this for? I don't read a book. That's my fuck that.
Cut to 20 years later, Jimmie struggling to pronounce names horribly.
When am I going to use this?
Shit. And he does no math, by the way.
Never. I never do math.
Never. Not one bit of math, but he has to read every week, and that doesn't go well. So you should have switched your interest in high school.
Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have given a shit.
A little bit here. That's awesome.
That served you well, too, because you remember sports stuff. And I remember the events.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't remember, the numbers. Which is crazy, because I loved numbers.
That is. And I do, and I hated them. So.
I don't remember scores. I don't remember any of that shit.
Definitely don't remember what teams people play for.
I don't remember that shit.
We've gone over that in Crime and Sports quite a bit. Definitely not.
Maybe I've already got dementia. That's
it. Possible. Early onset.
It's
You never
possible.
know.
38, it's over.
Yeah, but it's been going on since what?
22.
That's what I mean. So, yeah, it's very early onset.
Yeah.
Excessively early onset dementia.
And I'm speeding it up with every drink I take.
Good job. Have another. That's good. There's more in the fridge if you need another, by the way. It's there.
Right.
So Keith is kind of a fuck up. But he also, his background isn't great. His family life isn't wonderful. He comes from a poor family in Tennessee that grew up in the, 60s and 70s, and just not a lot of opportunity for him. So drops out in the 9th grade, and he meanders. He somehow ends up in El Paso, Texas.
Yeesh.
Why anybody would end up in El Paso, Texas from somewhere else, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I'm not positive. And yeah, we're making fun of Texas a lot. That's right. By the way, Houston and Dallas, fucking tickets are on sale. Get your goddamn tickets. They come there and they like it and they go, I know, it's crazy here.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. And they bring us like hats from Gun Barrel City,
Right.
and we love them.
And I rock it.
And we fucking have, they're up in the studio too. We love them. So it's a weird thing anyway. But he ends up in El Paso.
Okay.
Which we've been there.
Yeah.
We drove through there.
That was the confusing town.
Yeah, I can't, we've expressed it before, but I can't express to you how shitty El Paso is.
It's Phoenix, with Mexico much closer.
It's like Phoenix in 1979 before it became a place.
And there's a boot barn at every exit.
Yeah, a lot of boot barns. I feel like if we pull off and really go in there, every strip mall is going to have like a jean jacket store and a boot barn.
And then a Subway in the boot barn.
And a Subway in the boot barn. There's a lot of, Texas has a lot of Subways.
They love Subway.
Every gas station has Subway.
They love sandwiches.
I'm not complaining about, because I love sandwiches, and we ate a lot of Subway, because every time we stopped, we're like, we could just grab a 6-inch now, right? Yeah, let's just eat a sandwich.
Grab a ham and Swiss and move on.
So if you're worried about obesity, maybe take all the Subways out of your gas stations.
Yeah.
Or there's a restaurant in every gas station of some kind, either fried chicken or sandwiches or
gravy on everything.
Gravy on a stick, which I don't even know how they do that, but somehow they make gravy on a stick. It's amazing. Really, we should study what kind of science is going on down there.
Powder it and deep fry it. It's amazing.
You can do it with ice cream, I guess. Fuck it. Why not gravy? Get your gravy on. Magnolia days. Get your gravy on a stick.
Go grab your gravy popsicle.
Oh, baby. I pictured it like a bowl of gravy, but like in that shape, like a block of gravy just on top of a stick, not even in popsicle form.
I was just seeing it like a frozen banana.
Yeah, I was thinking not frozen
Jesus.
for some reason, because that would be gross.
So gross.
I feel like it should be like one of those things where
Something that oozes.
it looks like it's all together, and then when you put your fork into it, something oozes out of the middle. I feel like it's that. You take one lick and gravy
Like a
pours out.
chocolate molten cake.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. One of those chocolate
gravy cake.
Yeah, it's a gravy pop, a molten gravy pop. You take a bite. It comes with a bib.
Fuck, that's gross.
We call it a gravy bib, and you put it on, and because you take a bite, you're losing most of that gravy. Most of it there. So yeah, no, it's gross. So he ends up anyway. Just gross. I don't even know what else to say about it. That's absolutely disgusting. So Magnolia days, get your gravy sticks. So anyway, Keith here, he ends up going from Kentucky at an early age, moving away. Like by his teens, he's gone away from Kentucky.
Yeah.
By the time he is 16, not even 16, 15, 16, he's in El Paso.
Okay.
So we know that for a fact.
He made it.
So he got the fuck out of there. He dropped out and moved to El Paso. Mm-hmm. So like I said, too.
Took him 2 years.
Rural Tennessee in the 70s. We're talking 74, 75. The economy was fucking terrible everywhere. Watch All in the Family. Mm-hmm. Like it was bad times. Shit was rough. Inflation was going on. It was jobs were shitty. Wage freezes were on. Not a good time for anybody. So if you lived in like a rural poor area, it crushed those places. They got fucking crushed because there's nowhere to work.
Right.
So you kind of had to leave to work. It was one of those periods of time, the kind of post-depression era where people would get their bindle and get on a train. I feel like he bindled up and went down to El Paso, and he's in a relationship with a woman down there at age 16 from 1975. He hooks up with a woman, and they have an eventful relationship, let's say. Now, while he is in 1976, he's 17 years old, and he and this woman are arrested. They were arrested for burglary. in 1976 in El Paso. Apparently burglarizing 10561 Champlain Street. Okay. They burglarized that and were arrested for that. Now, I don't know how it resolves because court shit is sketchy from 1976 in Texas, but he's arrested with his woman for burglary.
They're fun.
I guess.
Yeah.
They're also desperate and poor and young.
Yeah. I wonder which one's the dangerous one, him or her. You know what I mean?
Let's find out, shall we? Let's do this here. Well, he became violent with her.
Oh, boy.
About 6 months into the relationship.
So she's the dangerous one.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. She's
hard as nails.
She's driving him to violence, Jimmy. I feel like he talked her into any kind of criminal activity. It was like, you're fucking doing this with me. You're watching Lookout. Or
how are we going to pay for rent?
Yeah, you're doing something. So apparently he would push her and slap her and hit her and just not good shit. And in the 70s too, that was less, reported, less everything. I mean,
still is today.
It still is today, but especially too
back then, way less
then in the 70s and in rural areas too. It was not considered something that a lot of people would go to the authorities about.
Or really bad.
Or, yeah, exactly. So he's also really controlling. Really, really controlling. Okay. She's not allowed to go anywhere or do anything. And, he has to know where she is at all times. And he's just kind of a dildo. Mm-hmm. He's a guy with no fucking confidence because he's poor and has a 9th grade education.
She's out of my sight. She's going to leave me.
She's going to leave me because, I have nothing to offer.
Exactly.
Clearly. That's the basis of the whole shit. Right. So she says that she was very much afraid to leave him at this time. She stuck around for over 4 years out of fear.
Sure.
6 months in, she said that was when she realized that it was
6 months in, she knew it was volatile?
That was when he started hitting her and controlling her and all that shit, and it ended up lasting over 4 years, the relationship. So she was very scared of him. Now, finally, in 1979, February 18th, 1979, she, takes off her bell bottoms and her butterfly collar for a minute so she can get on the phone with him and ends the relationship with him.
Okay.
So finally it's over. She has put up with fucking years of bullshit from this asshole, and finally she's done with him, and that's that. February 18th, 1979. Maybe a bad Valentine's Day gift was the capper.
Maybe. Or none.
None.
Not one at all.
Didn't even offer to take her out.
No.
Did nothing, and she was like, you know what?
I've had enough.
I've had enough.
Remember when you punched me 4 years ago?
You know what I thought about? Well, it was going on the whole time. Yeah. So I feel like that was the icing on the cake. And they said, and bad Valentine's Day.
I'm out.
No.
Yeah.
So this woman finally, for however she does it, she gets up the gumption to leave this guy and get away from this fucking lunatic. So what he does is he comes to her house and breaks in and rapes her at knife point.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that escalated.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a control thing.
Yeah.
So she breaks up with him, and within 2 weeks, he's breaking into her home and assaulting her at knife point, for which for which later on he ends up being arrested for. We'll find out. Now, he does this. She does not call the cops the first time this happens.
Wait, what?
Doesn't call the cops.
No,
That's what I mean.
not that phrase. The other phrase.
First time?
My Christ.
Okay. She doesn't call the cops.
Okay.
I don't know, for whatever fucking reason. I don't know the fear that she must have of him too, because over the course of 4 years, I don't know what kind of, I can't imagine what that's like. I've never been in that situation of what kind of your world would be dominated by this person and in fear of them.
It's possible that she thinks if this is the worst and then he leaves,
maybe this is it.
I've paid my penance.
Yeah,
I never have to deal with this fucking guy again.
This is her Bronx tale. You gave him $20 to never see him again. Not that that's $20. I'm not equating that at all. But
I don't know what the exchange is in 79.
No, that's true. Yeah, I still knife point rape is still that seems as much as $20 was probably worth back then. Yeah. Not worth that.
Still seems like it's worth about 20 years.
20 years, more like it. Yeah, that's what it is. Maybe she just said, "Look, man, I've put up with his shit. Who knows if he's done this before to her, and who knows what kind of abuse." And she just said, "Maybe that's it. Yeah. Maybe he needed to fucking assert his control this one time, and I'll never fucking see him again. Right. And he'll leave me alone." But that doesn't happen because he continues to harass her. And he continues to harass her, continues to do this. She determines, based on what she's heard from other people and weird cryptic shit that he said, that he is coming back to do this again in the next couple days. So she's frightened, very, very frightened. So frightened that her and her sister flee the state.
Really?
That's how scared of her she is, scared of this man she is. Rightfully so. But I mean, that's what we're talking about here. Not, I'm going to go stay in a hotel. I'm going to go to fucking Oklahoma because this guy is scary, which is crazy. So, not crazy for her. It's crazy how scary he is. So, he
is crazy for her.
He's crazy for her. So, they leave the house. When they return, they end up leaving the state for a couple days and because they thought he was coming over. And they thought maybe if he came over and saw the house was gone, nobody was there, he'd kind of give up on the whole thing. Just maybe she just thinks she can like wait him out, it feels like. When they return, the sister drops her off, and she finds that her lock is broken to her house. When she goes to unlock the door, she sees that the lock is broken.
Sister's house?
No, at her house.
Okay,
They bring her back to her house. She goes to unlock the door and sees the lock is broken. So she immediately calls police, which is intelligent.
Yeah.
She calls police. Police come in and they investigate. And they come into the house and the lock's broken. And they search through the whole house, especially after the threats and everything else. They search through the whole house and they finally find Keith inside the house hiding.
Oh my Christ.
With a double-barrel 12-gauge shotgun.
What the fuck?
That's what they find him in there. So that's worse than a knife.
Yeah.
I feel like he was waiting to kill her, not to fucking do anything else.
It's over this time.
Yeah.
Right.
So thank fuck she didn't go in that house and just say, I wonder what's going on, and just do a precursor look around.
Right.
She
said, a horror movie thing.
Yeah, that's what you'd say. You go, no, run. And she's like, well, was anybody still here? Hello? Hello?
My door lock's broken. Did somebody in here do it?
I love that in any movie where they go, hello? What are they going to go? Yeah, murder here.
Yeah,
no.
right here.
Well, hey, no, in the bedroom I'm going to murder you. Come down the hall. Not in the living room. I know
I like your carpet too much.
They're calling for a familiar person.
Right.
Like, is it my son?
Right.
Is Teddy here?
Did my mom drop by
Is she?
unexpected?
Mom? This isn't Mom or Ted from the town.
This is a terrible man.
This is a terrible man. So the police, too, and the funny thing is, these fucking cops, you just know they came over and like, that Christ is fucking broad.
This chick again.
They were like, oh, yeah, your lock's broken.
Yeah.
She's fucking paranoid.
Somebody wants to kill you.
Yeah, we'll look around, I guess. Sure. And then here he is in a fucking closet. You open up a closet and see the whites of this guy's eyes through the shadows.
Ma'am, I am so sorry.
I am so sorry. Not only was he
Right.
hiding inside your house, but with a fucking shotgun. So, good instincts. And how long was he sitting in there? She was gone for days, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Fucking days. He just broke in. Who knows if he was broken and lived there until she got there.
Or unless he got word she was coming back and he's like, I got 10 minutes to get over there.
Maybe.
Probably not.
I feel like he broke in and lived there for a couple days and waited for her to come back. Like, she'll come back eventually. Yeah. Until then, I see she's got roast beef from the deli. I'm going to have a sandwich. I don't know.
Are those bugles?
I'm going to put them on all my fingers and eat them because I'm a silly, silly man. Sat there whimsically eating bugles until he heard a car pull up. He's like, oh, shit, shotgun closet. Jesus. Shotgun closet, rapes and knives. And duh, what am I thinking here? I'm not happy-go-lucky bugle man.
Get your life together, Keith.
Come on, Keith. Jesus. So this has been a stalking relationship here. Also, another thing that he does is at this point he has another girlfriend who breaks up with him pretty quickly, and he ends up stalking, and guess what? Raping her as well.
What is the deal with this guy?
This is what he does. Yeah. He's a controlling lunatic that clearly can't take rejection, and so he instead turns violent.
He's one of those incels.
Yeah. Well, but he's not because he has these women.
Right.
He got laid.
Right. That's not
the rapes, but I mean, he has an initial relationship where these women voluntarily have sex with him. Okay, you're good for a while, asshole.
Yeah.
Sorry, motherfucker. I know I'm not defending the guys who are the incels because you know what? I'm sorry. Up your fucking game, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
It was hard for me too, bro.
The world doesn't owe you pussy.
No.
Sorry.
No,
that's the fucking main thing. Everybody get through your heads now. The world does not owe you pussy.
No.
You have to work for that shit.
Right.
You have to work for fucking women. Make yourself attractive to them. So they might want to be attracted to you. That's how it works. They're not just going to be like, well, he's had a tough go of it, I guess I should fuck him. No, that's not how this works.
Right.
Jesus Christ, that pisses me off.
You gotta be
Try harder.
Something. You gotta fucking make yourself what your. Remember when your dad worked his ass off and then got your mom? That's what you got to do. You work your ass off and be something that she needs.
Yeah, and women are forgiving too.
Right?
That's the other thing.
Jesus.
Men are fucking horrible because we are real picky about physical things and things like that. Women, oh my God, they'll if you have something that they like, they'll generally you'll find a woman that will like you.
They'll put up with anything just because you have that one thing.
Yeah, I was just talking about this with somebody. I think I was talking about Sarah the other day. How like in high school, like I know guys who were big, fat, ugly guys who were popular as fuck.
Shit, yeah.
Had girlfriends, got laid, went to parties.
Yeah.
Why? They worked on their personality to try to make themselves marketable to the world. So try that. Try it.
Write a joke or two.
Yeah, don't just sit there fucking on the internet and going up on your weird fucking social media shit and sit there brooding that these women won't touch you. Fix yourself, and then you'll find that women will like you.
There's another point. Get the fuck out of your house and stop inboxing girls you don't know.
That's the other thing.
What the fuck
Stop
are you doing?
it. Don't stalk girls on Instagram.
Right. Brush
Stop
your teeth.
all
Wash
that
your
shit.
filthy ass. Get outside.
Yeah, there you go.
Somebody will talk to you.
Shave a little, maybe.
Right.
Fucking at least on the cheeks and the neck, if you whatever. Do something with yourself. Make yourself weird.
Right.
You can make yourself.
God, Jesus.
Give yourself a weird niche.
Right.
Some girl will like that.
Absolutely.
Fucking try is what I'm getting at. So,
And everything you do.
Yeah, try.
Goddamn try.
Try, goddammit. So these people don't, though. A lot of guys like that, and that's what I don't understand. I have no sympathy for that shit.
Yeah.
'Cause you can do it, man. I've known plenty of ugly guys who were terrible people, and they got girls because they figured it out.
Yeah.
So anyway, they got girls to like them. I should say they didn't like get girls like in a truck.
Or through their window with
Yeah.
a knife, for fuck's sake.
They got girls to voluntarily spend time with them. So this woman, though, he ups his game here. This woman also said that, wow, this is a weird thing, that he cut her stuffed animal's head off and put it on her kitchen counter as like a warning to her, apparently. So she feared that he would do the same to her.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
I think that's what he was going
That's his
for.
message.
The dead the stuffed animal head just sitting atop a fucking counter.
Sitting on her sugar.
Super creepy image. That's really creepy too. What if it was
like right on the handle of the sugar? You know, the little stopper thing that goes on top of the sugar?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it was.
I hope it was a unicorn. I don't know why. Because then it would be like Godfather, but magical. You know what I mean?
Magical warning.
Magical Godfather.
I see a cat.
It's probably a cat or a dog or a bear.
A bear. Yeah.
It's a bear.
It's a goddamn
It's a fucking bear. You know, it's a bear.
So like Family Feud.
Yeah, so you're going
And the
there.
number one answer we got on the fifth try.
It's the bear.
Jesus.
Yeah. The fourth cousin down at the end who didn't do shit the whole show got it right somehow. You're like, Jesus. So also from 1981 to 1983, he is in what they call a common law marriage with another female. Now, common law, I always thought was like 7 years of cohabitation of that type of thing. It's
Sometimes
kind of
it's
common
shorter.
law. I guess they're only together for 2 years. So,
Okay, so
and it's
in Texas it
common
might
law.
be a year.
Maybe it's when you intertwine your finances. Maybe it's you got a joint bank account, you live together, you're fucking common law. Eat dicks.
Done.
Maybe that's it. But with another woman, surprising here. I'm very surprised. I expected him to learn from his mistakes, regroup, redouble up, and say, you know what, damn it, from now on, no more stalking, no more hitting, no more knife point or hiding in closets with double-barrel shotguns.
He's going to be a gentleman now?
I'm going to turn this into flowers and candy and poems even. But he doesn't, unfortunately. He just stays super violent and beats the shit out of this woman all the time, intermittently over a 2-year period. So she told him finally that she's had enough. She's fucking leaving him. This is obviously not a good relationship. You're a terrible person. Clearly, I heard about that stuffed animal, and I'm not thrilled about that too. And he answered with, obviously, you think a reasoned response. Where he says, I understand where you're coming from. I haven't been the greatest in this relationship. I'm going to go to counseling and work on myself.
You know, pointing that out to me right now, I just reflected every relationship I've ever had.
You know what?
Pretty bad.
It is bad, and it's all my fault. future relationships are going to be different, and I'd like to thank you for that, really. I'm going to get you a Hallmark card. He did that at first, and then he said, what am I doing? I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
And instead, he hit her, knocked her down, straddled her, and choked and punched her instead to let her know, obviously, how valuable he is to her in her life.
Also, to emphasize, you're right, it is over.
It is over. Yeah, no, look how much control I have. So this is fucking horrible. He ended up stopping short of killing her or hurting her very badly anyway. Serious injury, I should say. She ended up getting a restraining order against him because even after that, he kept harassing her, stalking her, showing up, looking in her windows, calling her at work. All the, usual crazy guy, harassing shit. So finally, she gets a restraining order against him, and it stops after that. So I don't know if he found another person to stalk,
probably,
because it seems like that's what it is. It's not when the cops get involved or anything else. It's when
his attention is shifted,
when he decides, I'm going to stalk this one instead. This is the other one's out of my head now. So he ends up becoming he's kind of a jack of all trades. He's a mechanic, he's a general laborer, and he's an AC tech. He's an HVAC guy, and that's his main job kind of through the 80s and 90s. He kind of mainly works as an HVAC guy and then does a little mechanic work on the side, and he's hustling. They're not doesn't have a lot of money.
No.
This is a lot of trailer to trailer type things here.
Okay.
These are not freestanding, no foundations.
None.
That's what this episode should be called. No foundations allowed in Magnolia, Texas.
Okay.
A lot of that shit going on. So, but he's trying. Finally, he ends up meeting a woman that doesn't run away screaming and get restraining orders filed against him.
Right.
So he meets a woman named Sharon.
Okay.
They end up getting married in the late 80s. Here, late 80s, early 90s, they get married and have a relationship that's a little bit rocky. We're talking about this guy, so it's,
It's Keith. Keith, rocky.
Bro.
Yeah.
It's rocky, man. Your shit's rocky, bro. Yeah. I'm just saying. So they end up in 1993, they have a son.
Oh.
So now he has a kid.
So has he stopped punchy?
It's one of those where
a little bit here and there.
It's not.
He has relapses.
I feel like it's not. He doesn't beat this woman unmercifully at this time, but who knows if there's incidents of violence that she doesn't report.
Okay,
because she doesn't report anything for years. This goes as on the record would be a quote happy marriage, whether it was or not.
And maybe she likes it a little rough, so maybe some of it goes under the guise of that.
Well, who knows? I mean, I don't know anybody who likes it that rough.
That's pretty rough.
Hit.
You don't
punched.
Some people do
in a certain arena. They do under a circumstance of their own requesting and controlling. They're not just like in the kitchen.
Blood, black eyes.
What do you want
lumps
for dinner? And then they get hit in the face. I don't think that's foreplay for anybody. I fucking hope not. Anyway, I mean, if it is, more power to you, I guess. But if you're the person requesting that,
when the assault manifests in bruising, that's when it's not foreplay ananymore. That's a problem.
That's when it's not fun anymore.
About the face, anyway.
Yeah, that's no.
Sometimes the other stuff can.
Well, if that's what somebody wants, whatever. But that's the thing. With him, maybe he found a voluntary. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe she hits back. You don't know.
We don't know. Sexually, we have no idea about that too. If whatever he does with that, but we're talking domestically. Yeah, he doesn't. Obviously, nobody wants that voluntarily. That's clearly a joke. So, relax. Sorry about that. Anyway, so he marries Sharon there. Like I said, they have a son in 1993, but the marriage is tough too. Money is a real concern. Yeah. If they had a hard time before, now when you have a child, as you know, and we all know, it's fucking expensive. Yeah. It's expensive to have a kid. And also, we don't know about their insurance situation. We have no idea, health insurance and shit like that. So November of 1999, Keith and Sharon together file for Chapter 13 bankruptcy.
Oh, no.
So they have to file for bankruptcy. That ends up being dismissed in June of 2000. That whole thing, I don't know if that's dismissed for whatever reason. It's done being in the courts by 2000. But so money's an issue, and they live in a trailer park by 2001,
and they've got a kid.
By 2001, they have a kid and a trailer, and they live in the outskirts of Magnolia, Texas. And things are really starting to fall apart. I don't know about before the kid, but after the kid, they're known as like a real kind of a volatile couple. After that, they become a more volatile couple. In one incident here, which is crazy, they were both arrested. They're that kind of couple that gets drunk and fight each other, and they both get arrested because they're both fucking at fault. It's one of those where it's like, who's the aggressor? They're both the aggressor. Fuck it. They're two people who don't belong together is what they are. Or maybe they're perfect for each other. We haven't decided.
Sweet Pete, have you ever seen a husband and wife actually punch each other?
No.
That shit is bananas.
I've never fucking seen that. No, I'm glad too. I don't want to see that.
It is nuts.
I don't want to see fucking...
Well, you see a woman get punched and you're like, well, this is fucked up. Somebody stop this. Then she stands up and blasts him in the face and you're like, well, maybe we all just leave.
Let's give her a minute. Let's see how this fight ends up. She might come out on top in this one. We don't know.
That's when everybody's like, get him to safety.
Yeah.
Because she's going to be pissed now.
No shit. Jesus Christ, man.
It's a really wild scene when you actually see couples that legit will punch each other.
That's horrible, frightening
it's terrible.
Shit. Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
It's the life I grew up.
Well, they're both arrested because they're drinking all night. Obviously, alcohol's involved in this.
Shit, yeah.
All night drinking, and then it evolves into a fight over an automatic pistol, over a fucking gun.
Right.
So. It's a semi-auto, but it's listed as auto in fucking every police report and court document because it is. That's why. Because that's what it's fucking classified as.
Okay.
You can call it whatever you want, but when it's classified by the manufacturer and the government as auto, guess what, motherfuckers? That's what it says. So I'm tired of hearing, actually, that's a semi-auto. No shit. But guess what, motherfucker? It's not classified that way.
Why do they say
you dumb
that?
fuck. I don't fucking know. And I don't care. What fucking difference does it make? Take your dick extension and shove it up your ass for all I care. I'm tired of fucking hearing about it.
This is auto.
Stop it.
Auto sounds,
Jesus
you hold
Christ.
the trigger and it just fires.
Yeah.
But semi is not.
Get a dog or learn to use your hands. I'm so fucking sick of this shit. Or keep your gun and leave me the fuck out of it and stop bitching about semi-auto. I'm tired of it. I don't care if you have fucking guns.
Right.
That's not a political stance. Just shut up about it. I don't care what anybody does as long as they shut the fuck up about it. That's all I care about at this point. Do whatever you want. Just shut the fuck up and keep me out of it. If I ran for president, that would be my slogan. Keep me out of it.
Bye.
That's behind me. Big sign. Keep him out of it. That's it. I don't want to know what the fuck is going on. Leave me alone. Shut up.
Pretty much don't run for president.
I'm not going to run for president. So.
They're going to keep bringing you shit.
Yeah. I don't care.
They're going to keep bringing it.
He doesn't give a shit as I wave. I'm waving this whole time. Hi.
Keep bringing it.
I don't give a shit, America. Stop telling me things. I don't care.
Right.
Fuck all of you.
So what kind of gun are they fighting over?
It's a semi-auto pistol.
Okay.
In reality.
But what is it? Do
we
they
know
say?
that. They don't say what it is. No. They don't know.
They just got a gun.
They have a gun.
And they're drunk as fuck.
It's a gun with a clip. It's not a revolver. Let's put it that way. So, no, it's a 9mm.
Okay.
So, the problem here, what ends up happening, how this started, they got drunk and passed out. The couple, both of them.
Yeah.
Got drunk and passed out, like, with their friends. So, shit-faced passed out. Apparently, one of his friends took pictures of them after they passed out.
Okay.
That was the big.
That's the joke?
That's what drove this whole thing. So at that point, she started waving the 9mm around in the middle of a fight. She took the gun out.
Yeah.
The gun was entered by Sharon into this equation.
Yeah.
Which if you got a guy that's going to punch you all the time, maybe you keep a 9mm on you.
It's a good. Yeah.
So she waves a 9mm at him and taunts him like, here, take the gun and shoot me then, motherfucker, like that.
Wow.
Shit-faced drunk. That's not a fight you want to witness.
No.
So that's going on.
It's not a fight you want to win or lose either.
Or see or know about or anything. So, yeah, she's taunting him, waving a gun in his face, saying, shoot me then, calling him a pussy and whatever. So what he does is he grabs the gun, throws her to the floor, and kicks her and hits her in the face with the pistol.
There you go.
So he pistol whips her and hits her and does all this shit, which is, I guess, better than shooting her. So, but Jesus Christ.
Almost better?
Almost. I don't know. She's not dead, but fuck. I suppose anything short of death is better than death.
Yeah, but he's assolted her with the weapon. He just assaulted her. Yeah. Prison.
Yeah, it is true. But she also had a gun waving in his face. So at that point, one punch is warranted. Yeah. If someone has a gun waving in your face, one punch is warranted enough to go, hey, motherfucker. Once you get the gun, then it's over with after that. You don't get to then further assault this person. I don't think. You've disarmed them. End of game. So
you have the gun now.
Yeah.
Game over.
The game's over.
Right.
You have the gun and you're bigger.
Right.
So you're fine.
Right.
Really. So, but no, he beats her pretty good here and hits her in the face with the gun, the whole thing. This is all going on here. Like I said, they have a trailer and with the son, and they're a tumultuous relationship here. So in the summer of 2001, she finally has had enough of this insanity. And because this is what you get. You get people that come from shitty backgrounds, and they look for chaos.
Yeah.
And it's not like their fault. It's just a psychological thing that you look for chaos if you're used to chaos.
It's like how when people in Alabama root for Alabama.
Yeah,
you know
it's the same thing. Yeah, that's where you're from.
You're born and bred into that.
They gave you a hat when you were a kid, and this is the thing. You get a domestic violence hat when you're a kid, and then you go, oh, I guess that's how the world works. I guess I'm supposed to hit my husband, and he's supposed to hit me back, and then that's fucking life. Which it's not.
No.
It's break cycles. Jesus. It's so hard.
It's not that, I mean, it's difficult, but it's not that difficult.
No, it's hard. It's hard. It's really fucking hard in this situation. Well, her way of doing it is not the best advised way. We'll talk about here what she does. 2001 of summer, she leaves. Great. That's good. Leave this guy. He's an asshole. She takes the son with her. Good. You're the mother. You should probably, if you want to have the kid with you, it's probably better to have the kid with you than this fucking lunatic, obviously. And she moves in with a guy.
Okay. Does he know him?
Well, let's.
Oh, Jesus.
It's worse than that.
Oh, no.
It's a guy named Guy Fernandez is his name. And he, the problem is she moves in with the son, in with this guy, and Guy, now that would be fine, except that Guy lives directly across the street in another trailer. So literally 10 feet from fucking front door to front door, looking right at the trailer.
All right.
No, I'm sorry, but you can't do that.
No.
You can't. You can legally and whatever, but you have
technically.
You have to know that this is going to cause problems.
Yeah.
If I move in, my husband doesn't want me to move in with another guy with this kid that's also his too, half his, and we move in directly across the street, there's probably going to be issues.
Right. Hey, Guy, do you want me to move in with you? You have to move,
You have to move. We have to get an apartment somewhere or another trailer down the street, or at least down the street, not fucking directly across the street. You're just asking for trouble at that point.
I'm leaving.
Like I said.
Where are you going to go? Across the fucking street.
Technically and legally, everything's fine, but realistically, in reality, if you know this guy's a lunatic, you're kind of asking for trouble at that point. Not asking for it, but you're fucking. You're not taking precautions for your own safety. Let's put it that way.
Technically, you left, but that's the laziest I'm leaving ever.
Yeah, that's too close. And if she left to move across by herself, it would be different. But to move in with another guy, he's gonna.
That's a big fuck you.
It's a big fuck you, and he's a guy like this isn't gonna be able to control his shit. So, what he ends up doing on August 30th, 2001, is Keith drives to Sharon's mother's home to speak with Sharon. Sharon's at her mom's house. Goes to speak with Sharon. He banged on the sliding glass door in the back patio. Banged on the sliding glass door when they wouldn't open the front door. Looking in. Make sure I'm looking in the window. Where is she? And screaming for Sharon. Where's Sharon? I want to see Sharon right fucking now. Her mother tells him that Sharon's not there and told him to leave. So he left.
Yeah.
Seems fine. He shows back up 15 minutes later.
Is she here yet?
Decides she's back yet, and she demanding to see Sharon this time. Again, banging on the door, and finally, now this is twice, and we know one thing about this guy. He's persistent.
He comes back.
He doesn't give up very easily. No, he's
not a lot of quitting him unless it's school.
Unless it's school or work or legal relationship behavior or things like that. He quits on that real easy, but not actual, not violence.
Annoying women.
Oh.
No quit.
This guy, forget about it. He's like the ant.
Yeah.
He can carry 10 times his body weight and shit. So he returns 15 minutes later again, banging on the door, demanding to see Sharon. I just picture like drunken Ozzy Osbourne.
That's what I saw too. It's the only famous Sharon I know.
Especially his yell for her. So just yelling the mumble shit. So Sharon finally comes to the door.
Yeah.
just the mother's like, he's going to fucking break our patio door.
Yeah.
Somebody just go talk.
This is a trailer, Sharon.
This is it. He's going to knock it down. He's going to huff and he's going to puff. You know how it goes. So Sharon comes in the door, but she does not open it. She doesn't open the door. She's just like, dude, you got to fucking go.
Yeah.
Not opening the door. This is over with. You know, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And but she should call the police at this point again.
Probably.
Call the police. She's got a restraining order against him already. Call the fucking police and say, guy with I have a restraining order against is banging on my door. We told him to leave. He came back. You know,
that ought to get him to jail.
That's it right there. That's something. At least, I don't know. Ignore him.
At least solve the problem today.
But she's trying to solve the problem and just get rid of it, I feel like, which is what a lot of people would do because that's the easiest thing to do. Yeah. Easiest thing, look, I know him, I can talk him down and get him the fuck out of here, and then it'll be over and the cops don't have to come to my mother's house and all that shit. So I get the it's not her fault. I totally get the thought process.
But she's treating him like an 8-year-old cleans their bedroom, just jamming it into the bed so nobody sees
exactly.
it.
It's building a thing. And with this asshole, with normal people, you'd say, yeah, well, you know what? Get your head out of your ass and you'd expect fine. But when you have an asshole like this, it's dangerous. So through the glass, he's yelling at her now. He's telling her that her Guy Fernandez, the guy she moved in with, and Sharon's mother, all of them in there, she said, quote, that they were all wrong in what they're doing and that Sharon was going to get hers and he was going to get Guy too. He's screaming that through the glass. You're all wrong in there for what you're doing. I'm going to fucking Sharon's going to get hers. I'm going to fucking get Guy too. Yeah.
I hope that they all were like pointing at their ears and mouthing, we can't hear you, but not saying any words. You know what I mean?
He's like
just to try to get him to go
throat
away.
slashing signals and noose hanging, like pointing at him.
And they're like still
gun and point, you shoot. He's like, I don't.
And they're like, no.
What?
I'm pointing at
they
their
just
ears
start going back to doing dishes and watching TV like he's not even there.
Bye.
Yeah. So this is fucking frightening, obviously. This causes her to go and get a second protective order against him for the mother's house too, so he can't go there and near any of them either. So now she's got like her bases covered in restraining orders and everything else. But as we know, restraining orders are paper, and if someone's a nutcase and doesn't give a shit about the consequences, none of that shit matters, right? So this is going to come to a head at some point. It's pretty fucking clear, that this is not going to go on forever.
And the two of them are egging each other on.
Yeah, they're not going to live across the street from each other peacefully for like the next 10 years until the son graduates high school, and then they go to the graduation, you know, him and her and Guy together, gray-haired with glasses on, talking about how wonderful it is to have raised this beautiful son together.
Reminiscing about, remember that time that I just bullshit threatened you through your mother's fucking door?
I threatened to kill you.
I can't believe that.
And your mother. I threatened to kill your own mother. Isn't that crazy?
Anyway, little Johnny's
super
doing
weird,
great.
But I'm proud of this kid. I'm telling you, boy, double major he's going for. This is going to be amazing. So September 25th, 2001. This is things kind of come to a head here. He is served. Keith is at home at his trailer. He's got his brother over too. They're hanging out. He's got his son with him at the time. So they're hanging out at the trailer. County deputies come to his trailer and serve him with a protective order, placing this also not only places him, he's not allowed to see Sharon with this particular order. It has a little more differentiation of what he can do and what he can't do. But also in this order is that Sharon has custody of the son until this shit is resolved.
Oh, so they are taking the boy right now.
They're taking the boy from his custody as we speak and walking him across the street back to his mother's house. So obviously, this is going to cause an issue. He's not just going to go back to watching NASCAR and fucking forget about this.
You just made me an asshole in front of my kid.
In front of your kid, in front of your brother, the whole deal. And an asshole like this, to begin with, this is not going to take well. Rather than going, hey, maybe I shouldn't stalk her, go to her mother's house, bang on the glass, I shouldn't have beat her up a bunch of times and hit her with a gun and all that stuff. And none of this shit would be going on. And I could go to the court and go, fuck that, I get to see my kid. And they'd go, yeah, he does. And then I would be fine.
But instead, and he probably did a bunch of the shit in front of the kid, so the kid has seen him him be an
the other
asshole
thing.
in the first place. But now the police have
oh yeah, it's a double.
They have said that your dad's an asshole to that kid.
So no contact with with his son or with her until this is resolved. So this is not okay. So the deputies leave. What do you think Keith does? Let's have a guess.
He's probably cleaning a shotgun.
Well, that's close. A normal person might sit down. Maybe this is a good time to look to your brother and go, let's go grab a drink.
Yeah.
Let's go grab a fucking drink, or let's go here, or let's get the fuck out of this place because I'm going to lose my mind.
I have already lost it.
That's what people do.
Yeah.
He says he goes to another level of losing it. Okay. We have certain levels that we've had where guys will just like snap and run over and shoot everybody or strangle people, start stabbing up whoever the fuck they can reach. Right. Or sometimes they go in this weird calm thing for a while. He goes to cartoon level ridiculousness. He goes into his room and emerges in a head to toe black karate outfit.
He got an outfit.
He got a fucking special outfit.
Oh boy.
Head to toe, like ninja outfit. He comes out in like a fucking idiot. Okay. Comes out and then paces back and forth in the trailer silently with a black ninja outfit on, holding a .45 caliber handgun in one hand and a fucking samurai sword in the other.
What? You got to pick which guy you are, sir.
Pacing back and forth in a black ninja outfit. Now, if I'm the brother, I am checking my watch at this point. I'm going, wow, it's getting super late. At dinner, I gotta get up early. I know it's only 2 p.m, but I gotta get up at like midnight. So
the sun is going down.
I better get going. I would be at work at 1 a.m. You know how that works. So what the fuck? So his brother and his friend is there also. They're being logical. Yeah. This is the other thing. He's got 2 people here that are of sane, whatever. They're sane. Right. They're not telling him, yeah, fuck that bitch. Yeah, you should go over there, shoot her, and then chop his head off with the sword. Neither of them are saying that. Both of them are going, bro, calm down. Calm down. I know this sucks. Let's just chill out. Let the courts resolve it. Right. Now she put that thing in the court. You can file this, because they're like, dude, it's okay. You can just go and you file this and they'll give you custody back of your son and everything will be fine, man. And it'll be fine. Just, this isn't the fucking, let's not end this here.
And where did you get a gi? Why do you have that?
Did you take karate when you were 9? What the fuck is that shit?
That's got to be what it is.
Nice green belt. What is happening?
It looks like the Hulk in it.
Yeah. This is black outfit
like
with
his all torn.
This is my green belt. It was political why it wasn't a black belt. That's all it was.
Right.
I know I'm way down the pole, but that's just because the instructor, he didn't like me, and so it was all political. So, yeah. But he replied that all he would say is that he's very mad and that he's going to do something stupid. That's what he keeps saying. They're going, dude, chill out. And first of all, he's an unstable guy pacing back and forth. Once you put a fucking costume on, you're done out of the level of being talked to at that point. Because, normal...
You're set in your ways.
Dude, normal people fly off the handle or whatever. This guy put a costume on. That is asinine.
And he has a gun and a samurai sword. They don't believe in the gun, bro.
I've been mad at a lot of people. I've never changed outfits because I was so fucking mad to put on a special outfit that displays my anger.
My pissed off outfit.
My thought process. It's just so...
This is my angry shirt.
This is my angry gi. It's fucking nuts.
That's the other part, too. There is no shirt. It's like a weird jacket thing.
That's the other thing.
It's so funny. The outfit is ridiculous.
It's fucking crazy. So he's they're going, relax, and he's just going, no, man, I'm real mad. I'm fucking mad. I'm going to do something stupid. He just keeps saying it as he's pacing back and forth, which is scary because who knows if this guy's going to start shooting you or something. He might snap. They took his kid just now, out of his hands. He might snap. You never know. So what he does is, out of nowhere, in mid-pace, he just stops pacing and bursts out the front door.
Oh, no.
At one point and heads, by the way, this is what I mean. There's no distance to cool off here, too.
Right.
He doesn't have to walk 200 yards down the street. He doesn't have to go get in his truck and drive to the next neighborhood. It's fucking
13 steps.
It's a sprinting range right there.
In an engi.
That's what he does. Now, as he crosses the street, he sees Sharon and Guy getting out of the pickup truck in the driveway.
Right.
As they do that, he starts shooting at him.
Oh, God.
Right away. Just as he's crossing the street. Doesn't even get over there. Just as soon as he sees hide or hair of them, he is fucking popping shots off.
They didn't even get a chance to laugh at the gi.
Nothing. They didn't even go, what the fuck are you wearing? Like, because that would be the first thing.
Yeah.
What are you, what, why are you barefoot and in a fucking karate outfit like a 9-year-old, you
Your
weirdo?
pants are dragging the ground.
Or they're up to your halfway up your calf, either one. They're always either high waters they've had since they were 9 or
treading on them.
Ones to grow into. I'm not sure. Either way, karate's for 9-year-olds.
They're
anyway,
either too small or they'll fit in 2 years.
That's what it is. Totally.
That's funny.
If you keep this up, it's going to fit eventually. So he goes over, he shoots Sharon first.
Oh, no.
Attacks Sharon, shoots her, and then ends up following Guy, who runs into the trailer. He ends up following Guy and shooting him. Okay. Now, we'll get back into the details of that in a second. But after he shoots everybody, he then returns back to his trailer, where his brother and his friend are fucking horrified because when I'm mad, I'm going to do something stupid, and he's in a karate outfit, and then he bursts out the door. They went to the window and went, what the fuck's he doing?
Oh my God.
And by the time they got there, they see and hear him bucking shots off, and then going into the house, bucking more shots off. So he comes into the back end of the house, and his brother's there, like, what the fuck are you doing? He apparently starts screaming, I messed up.
I would say so.
Yeah, we told you not to do it, stupid. So then he started crying, and he starts threatening to kill himself now. Now he's threatening to kill himself. By the way, let's talk about one thing we haven't mentioned. His son is there for all this.
Where at? His house or
everywhere?
Her house? Oh, God.
All over the place. His son was in the pickup truck, and his son described watching his father chase his mother around the yard shooting at her.
Oh, my God.
He shot her 7 times with a .45.
Wow.
7. That's a lot of fucking shots for a .45 for one woman.
Oh, boy.
Shoots her 7 times with a .45 all over the yard. She's trying to, they were doing literally, she's running from him around a yard like kids do when they're playing tag, only he's fucking shooting at her while they're doing it, which is...
And hitting her.
In a karate... Okay, let's picture the scene. Take the human tragedy out of it. Yeah. These aren't human beings. These are people in, The Sims, okay? Right. If you saw a scene in The Sims where there was 2 trailers across the street from each other, and a karate man with a sword and a gun ran out of one of them and chased a woman around a yard shooting at her through a trailer while dressed in a karate outfit, it's kind of fucking ridiculous and silly.
It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it's insane. From a bird, just picture the bird's eye view. You can hear no sound. You just picture this. It's crazy time. You want to put it in speed up the film, like in Benny Hill, and have yakety sax playing over the back and shit.
Indeed.
But instead, there is a human element, and it's horrible and tragic. And this poor kid had to watch his mother shot 7 times directly in front of him. Then the kid describes how her boyfriend, Guy Fernandez, who's 35 years old at the time, runs into the mobile home. He then said he saw his father shoot his mother, quote, a couple more times. So he shot her running around. She finally fell, and he came up and finished her off like a psychopath. That wasn't even enough. Then ran into Guy's mobile home with the gun, is what the kid said. Then the boy ends up hearing several shots from inside. As he's hearing shots from inside the trailer park, the kid doesn't know where to go. This fucking kid is 8.
He's in the truck. He didn't even get out of the truck.
He was still in the pickup truck. Okay. They were all getting out of the truck, and he was still in there. And he gets out of the truck when his dad runs in, and he hears shots. The kid doesn't know what to do.
Oh boy!
Imagine being 8.
No.
Okay, can't run to mom.
No.
Dad's shooting everybody.
Yeah.
Where do I? And he's shooting everyone where I live right now. So I can't run into my house. Where do I go? I'll go across the street to Dad's house, I guess, because that's the second most familiar place. So he runs across the street to his dad's trailer and hides in there because he's scared shitless of his dad.
Right.
You're 8. What are you going to do? So he does that. Keith ends up coming back into the house, like we said. He barricades himself and his son up. He's threatening to kill himself. So his son has just watched his mother being murdered by his father directly in front of him, and now he's watching his father sob and threaten to kill himself. This is a horrible day for this fucking kid. The authorities end up arriving, obviously. They were actually investigating a domestic disturbance right down the street. and came right over. I'm not fucking around. They were right to another trailer domestic disturbance, and they were like, well, hold on, there's someone doing it worse.
Do you hear gunshots?
This one's worse.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's your lucky day, pal.
You don't fucking hit her no more today, all right? Stop it. Stop it right now. I will come back. That murder's only down the street. We will come back. So, yeah. So, anyway, this guy goes and he's calling Tom, his brother, got on the phone. While he was pacing around and right as he started to go outside, Keith, his brother called their father to try to get their father to talk some sense into him.
Okay.
Dad, talk to fucking Keith. He's losing his mind.
He just shot his wife, bro. Dad,
this was before that. He gets him on the phone as Keith is like pacing. He's like, hold on, let me get my phone here. He calls Dad up. Keith bursts out the door. He's on the phone with his dad when he hears the gunshots. He's like, holy shit, that's when they ran to the window. He just fucking shot Sharon, and he's currently still doing it.
Oh, boy.
So he looks out the door. He says so the boy sees it from the truck. From across the street, his brother's looking out the door and said he saw Keith standing over Sharon with a gun in his hand and shooting her, just finishing her off like a mob execution. So the police come. He barricades himself inside Keith. He's not coming out. Eventually, they convince him to release his son to them.
Yeah.
So at least get the boy out of there. There's guns and stuff. We'll get the boy out. So he releases his son to the police eventually, and after 2 hours, he finally gives up.
He gave up.
Finally gives up after 2 hours. I don't know what changed his mind, but he gave up.
They probably with the thoughts of you'll never see your boy again.
Yeah, and looking outside, not seeing his son's out there, that might make you go, I want to see my son.
Come out here.
Yeah.
Let's not make him lose both parents.
Exactly. So this fucking poor kid, Jesus Christ.
Even though he just did.
You just ruined him.
Right.
You just destroyed his
psyche. Does not have
psyche.
his parents either, because you're going to prison forever.
Quite a bit of therapy going on here.
His mom's over there, so...
Yeah, this isn't good. Well, let's find out what happened to his mom here. Evidence here of the whole deal shows that Sharon was shot 7 times with a .45, like we said, and was found there. It was the same gun that was found with him when he was arrested. Now, this was also the same gun he used to shoot Guy twice in the head. Okay. He shoots Guy twice in the head, but he also not only shot him twice in the head, he beat him with the gun.
Good Lord.
Severely enough to where pieces of the gun were found scattered all over their trailer.
He broke the gun.
He broke the gun on the fucking guy.
My word.
When they found it, they said, why is the firing pin missing and this and that? They thought he took it apart to I don't know, for whatever.
Be a weirdo.
Evidentiary reasons for whatever he thought was, but then they went over to the house and found the pieces scattered all over the trailer, like when you beat with it and it broke. Yeah. Pieces broke off of it.
You got to hit hard with them.
A gun is harder than a skull.
Yeah.
Period. So how hard do you have to fucking hit somebody in the head to break a metal gun apart? That's impressive. It's not made of cardboard.
Yeah.
That's a point. It's a big gun too, a .45.
Yeah.
It's a big, heavy fucking gun.
Yeah.
Like the weight behind it's gonna. You really got to have some rage going on there. So twice in the head shot and hitting the head a whole bunch. They finally, that was also, obviously, there was Fernandez's fucking brain matter and skull all over the gun, too, that they found. So a lot of evidence there. Now, while in custody here, he is in custody. They arrest him. He is in jail. You'd think he'd be on his best fucking behavior at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, because you can't be worse.
Yeah, instead, he's disciplined in jail before the trial even goes on for not wearing his prison armband and for being disrespectful to a staff member. And then he ends up 2 days later being violated for more disciplinary rules again and having all of his privileges revoked as far as, I think he had to eat in his cell and couldn't go out and exercise and all that shit was revoked.
It's not going to help your case, sir.
No, it doesn't look good at all. It doesn't look like, wow, I snapped, but I'm really a good guy. Right. It looks like I'm a piece of shit who's an animal.
I'll always be one.
Who's an animal wherever you put me, and I'll always be a piece of shit, like you said. So, yeah, that ended up happening. Another thing while awaiting trial, he violated disciplinary rules by threatening to kill a female correction officer. You can't do that. One thing I've read about, and also I've known people in prison and heard a lot of shit like that, you have to have a certain rapport with the guards, and you can't threaten to kill them.
Right.
You just can't.
That's generally rule number one.
Generally, rule number one. For disciplinary reasons, they'll just shrug their shoulders and get you written up. And guess what, motherfucker? Now you're in solitary. Eat shit.
Also, if
they don't care,
not faulting anybody that's been in his life before, but if everybody calls the police in the bad situations, maybe in prison they don't put him near female guards. You know what I mean?
That's the other thing.
He
clearly has a problem with women,
for sure.
And this is a woman who's in charge of him,
right? And he better listen.
He has no fucking choice in that matter,
right?
And yeah, he tells her, he threatens to kill her, and then tells the other officers who, come and back her up and all that. He says, quote, I can snap her neck.
Oh, boy.
He tells them, what are they going to do? Kill me twice? Because they're talking about death penalty for him in this whole thing. But he says, yeah, I can snap her fucking neck. Fuck her. So that's how dangerous this guy is. He's thinking, I got nothing to lose. I'll start snapping female COs' necks, which is next level crazy. Yeah. That's even the karate, we've gone to another level of weird with this fucking guy.
When you're dangerous on the street, that doesn't necessarily mean you're dangerous in prison.
Exactly. But it's true.
This guy's both.
He's just a dangerous, he's got a crazy narcissism, fucking ego. Yeah. He's a lunatic. Yeah. So
who hates women.
And he has a serious pride. I'd really love to know. I would love background on what the fuck happened to him growing up. Yeah. What not that it matters, obviously, but I'd love to know, just as serious.
Dropping out of school, though, and moving across the country by yourself
clearly
at such
not
a young
lot of
age.
Family reverence. Yeah, not a lot there. Yeah, there's definitely problems at home, and probably with his mom.
Yeah, he doesn't respect her at all.
No, and what happened? That's what I mean. Was the father cause that? Was the mother maybe not a great mother? I don't know what happened, but whatever ended up happening, that chemistry made a monster. And there's nothing else to it. So at trial, they talk about, there's a lot of jury shit going on here in the beginning of people bitching about, you can't strike this one. Well, how are you going to strike him if you strike him? And it's just some interesting shit of how the court decides. It seems really arbitrary. Yeah. When you see a courtroom with a jury all seated and a judge and law, it's very organized. Yeah. It looks so organized.
It generally is. Unless they put it on TV, then it just fucking somehow gets all out of control.
But I mean, there's a lady typing every word that's said. There's bailiffs, and it looks so fucking organized.
Uniform, even.
Uniform. The chairs are lined up. The desks are lined up. They're all in that box. The jurors are in their best clothes. Everything looks nice. But then when you look at how they get to that, it's just a fucking mess. It's sticking your hand. It's like noodling. You're just sticking your hand in the wall of a fucking pond and hopefully pulling out a catfish. It's the
stink bait in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, it's the weirdest fucking thing in the world, man. It's so strange. Yeah. And so they talk about how, listen to this. The defense counsel, this is just an excerpt from the middle of a discussion about a juror. This is just interesting, especially if you don't live in America. You're going to sit here and go, what is going on with their justice system? It's just strange. The defense counsel says, quote, we also challenged Deanne Moore, who's a potential juror, on the basis of his physical ability to understand what we are talking about. He was the coach from the elementary school. What does his physical ability to understand what we're talking about? They don't mention he's a blind man or anything like that. Even then, he can visualize people murdering another person. I don't know why you would have to.
It seems like it was said with a wink, like his physical, meaning he's dumb.
He was the coach at the elementary school. No one's that dumb to not understand. You can't be a coach anywhere. You can't be able to work 40 hours a week if you can't understand a man walking across the street and shooting his ex-wife 7 times. It's pretty fucking clear cut. Right. They're not asking him to do this cell tower shit from Adnan Syed's case.
They're not having him draw up a play either in like professional sports. They're just saying, pick guilt or innocence, sir.
Yeah, that's the thing. So the judge says to him about that, quote, you did make that challenge. I don't care, is what he says. We could go on forever. How comfortable is the state? It really doesn't matter to me. I think all the rulings I made are really safe. I have no concern about it all, but it's the state's case and I don't mind trying it 4 or 5 times, but I'll leave it in your hands. If you think the court needs to give an extra one, I'll give an extra one. He basically is like, I don't know, it's your guys' game. Yeah. Fuck do I care? I've never heard a judge with so little, like, any kind of
or he just looked
dominance of his courtroom.
Look at the defense and was like, you know what? It's a slam dunk. Pick what you want. I don't give a shit.
Well, he said it doesn't matter to me and I don't care.
Right.
Which you'd never hear. I've never heard a judge say, I don't care. When asked the lawyer asked him a question, he literally was like, I don't care. It really doesn't matter to me. Never heard that before. You're the judge.
It's pretty solid.
You're the judge. You're not my wife who I'm asking what she wants for dinner. You're the fucking judge. What is happening?
You're the boss in this entire... If anybody says anything cross to you, you can have them thrown in jail.
There's a reason why you're 4 feet higher up than everybody else.
Your opinion
You
matters,
fucking idiot.
sir. Please care.
I'm 6'4", standing, and I'm still looking up at you. You understand? And you're seated. That's how important you are
You
here.
have to care.
I
That's
don't
literally your job.
And he literally was like, I don't know, I made super because the really, really safe, the rulings. Basically, he said, shit I talked about is fucking ironclad on appeal, so I don't really give a shit. It's the state's case. If you two think that if you agree on this shit, I'll let you do it. It's like he's gotten two kids together to play pickup basketball, and they asked him to be referee, and he's like, you guys make the rules up. It's your game, but, tell me what they are, and I'll tell you when someone fouls somebody.
I'll call what you want.
I'll call what it is. He's like a wrestling referee. I don't really care, But if I see the manager hit him with a megaphone, I'm going to have to disqualify him. That's all I'm saying. If I don't see it, I don't see it. Wow. So prosecutor says, no, Your Honor, I'm very comfortable with the rulings. Court says, okay, that will be denied then. The defense says, okay, we've exhausted all our challenges, Judge. We would have used a challenge on this juror, and we're being forced to accept her, and she's unacceptable to us. So that's how this all goes. No one's happy with the jury. Yeah. That's the other thing. It's every case I've ever seen. Like if you look at the behind the scenes of the OJ trial, neither fucking party was happy with the jury.
No.
That started, that's compromise.
Mm-hmm.
You get, I hate all those people and so do you. Good. Rather, no one gets anything they want. So yeah, they said the record reflects that they did do a bunch of challenges for cause for a bunch of different people that they talk about, mainly all women. Mm-hmm. A lot of women on this for some reason. I don't know why I assume that's the defense. Weeding out the women, probably, because this doesn't
look good at all to women.
Women
are going to hate this.
If I'm the prosecutor, I want 12 women if I can fucking get them. Be like, you've met assholes like this, right? Well, here he is. This is the one. So, they also said there was some kind of error. They complained that this juror was the 12th seated, but he participated. It's very weird as far as there's one juror who's dismissed, so then another one comes in, but he's only seated for the end, even though they're seated the whole time, but they're not officially jurors it's super weird. He tries to challenge this saying, well, he jumped in at the end, so he can't be a juror. And they're like, well, that's why we have alternates, so we can plug them right in. Yeah. They've sat there. They're the understudy. Yeah. They've been watching the whole time. They've been at the rehearsals. They have the script. They're off book. It's fine. We're good.
Don't fuck up, or we'll use him.
That's it. We're going to throw him in there. So these jury issues are going to come up a lot later on, obviously, when, he's
on appeal.
On appeals here. Now, this is insane here. The defense's argument here is that they're trying to convince the jurors that Keith is a good father who is an otherwise fine upstanding citizen who just snapped in a fit of rage, triggered by these, circumstances that anybody in their right mind would be upset about.
Sure.
So that's their attempt of they're not denying it. They're just saying he snapped and, it wasn't no death penalty is basically what they're going for here. So he said it's the wife living across the street with the other man, and the deputies came and removed his son. And if you add all this up, it was just he snapped. It was a snap situation here. Now that sounds fine, to the court you can say that, but it sounds really, really bad when your son gets on the stand as a child and testifies about watching you shoot his fucking mother. Bad stuff. Yeah. That's going to piss the jury off. You don't want that at all. So this is his own son up on the stand testifying, saying everything, shot his mother repeatedly in the yard. And, I heard him go in there and I ran across the street because I was scared and all this shit. So the jury shockingly does not have a lot of sympathy for him in terms of guilt and innocence. So not a lot of drama to this. Verdict comes in guilty. I mean, I don't know what they would have to, they'd have to have the coach who's not physically able to understand the evidence to not convict convict this fucking guy. So let's see. You have all the evidence. Okay, he had the gun, he had the murder weapon, he had their blood all over him. That's a thing. The son watched him do it. Oh, his brothers watched him do it, and his dad heard it over the phone.
And we have the testimony of an 8-year-old.
And we have that. And oh yeah, when the cops got there, he didn't want to come out because he said he was going to kill himself because he just killed those people. So there's quite a bit of evidence over here. Now, well, after the guilty verdict, they talked to his attorney outside, and he says that this is the most obvious thing in the world. Quote, I think one of the things that hurt us the most was that the murder took place in front of his son. No shit.
He could have deleted that last part. I think the part that hurt us the most is that the murder took place.
The murder took place. And then he stopped for a while. Then he said, and what hurt Keith also was that he shot his wife a number of times. Yes. Not only that, the son described chasing her, shooting her, and then when he finally hit her, going over and finishing her off. That's cold-blooded. That's some executioner shit.
Well, I can't believe they get quotes from these guys.
Why quote?
Why even ask?
Why'd you think you lost? Because he obviously killed her. That's why.
Were you in there?
Did you hear this shit? Jesus Christ!
I can't believe I was saddled with this burden.
Even the coach understood. What the fuck, man? He's not in the jury, but he showed up anyway, and he said, I got it just fine. That's how easy this is. Because he shot his wife 7 times in front of his child. That's why, dummy.
He took time off of coaching to watch this.
Jesus Christ. Also, he says his poor character background doesn't help either. No. And that's really going to hurt him in the penalty phase, because that's when you can bring in all of your past misdeeds and all of your people you've wronged over time. It's like a reverse step 8 of AA, basically. It's like, instead of you telling everyone who you've wronged, all the wronged people come into one room and tell you what you've done.
The atonement process.
Yeah, it's fucking.
You gotta hear it.
100% reverse step 8 right here, man. Fuck, that's step 8, right? I don't know. I'm not.
I don't know.
I never did AA, but I always hear that. I think it's step 8 there. So anyway. Yeah, either way, one of those fucking steps, this is a reverse of that. So in this punishment phase of the trial, one of his former girlfriends testified that he raped her after she ended the relationship with him, which the jury does not like at all to hear. And then a former girlfriend testified about him stalking and raping her after she ended the relationship.
Yeah.
Control issues.
Yeah.
They're building a pattern, not only a pattern, they're on escalation. First it was stalking, then it was rape and stalking, then it was rape and stalking and violence and hitting and all this shit, and now it's up to shooting. So why would you ever let this guy out again? Clearly he can't mix in society here. Also testifies about cutting the stuffed animal's head off and putting it on the counter, which little things like that. Juries are human beings.
Right.
It's not a computer. Right. That freaks them out. Yeah. This guy's a fucking scary person who you don't want breaking into your house.
It's easy to create a boogeyman when you are the boogeyman.
When he's sitting right there in a karate gi, it's pretty fucking easy to
Is that what he went to court in?
I wish. I found the pictures too. I wished so hard that he went to court in a full karate outfit, barefoot and everything. That would have been no shirt, just the the gi exposing his chest hair. That would have been awesome. Oh my God. But no, he fucking wore a dress shirt like a pussy. I mean, if you
missed an opportunity, sir.
Dude, go 100% with it. Do like a Charles Manson. Put a fucking swastika on your forehead and show up with fucking bells on. You know what I mean? Really work it.
Legit bells.
Legit bells. That's what I'm saying. Tang them from your hair. Who cares? So he appeals this, obviously, because it's a death sentence that he's trying to appeal in the penalty phase. Well, later on, he's going to appeal the whole thing. But after this whole deal, they end up, multiple people end up. The son has to testify about how this hurt him and everything, and all these people, and everybody on earth testifies against him. Step 8 in reverse, and it's not too hard for the jury to come up with a verdict here, and they come back with, you, sir, may fuck off. Death penalty for Keith. So, death penalty for Keith, they give him. He's obviously a little taken aback by that, but he did say they can't kill me twice, so hey, you know what?
Shouldn't be too taken aback.
Pretty cavalier attitude about the whole thing. I'd say fuck yourself. So after all this, they appeal. The first thing they're mainly appealing is they're saying the sentence was too harsh. And you'll see his arguments change over time, too. This is like 2004, 2005. He's saying that the former lawyers he had failed to track down any of his relatives who could have testified that he had been abused as a child and that could have accounted for his behavior, which honestly would not have made a big difference in this. Unless this woman abused him as a child who he shot, it wouldn't have fucking mattered. And I don't think she did because she was 9 years younger than him. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and say that that's not applicable here. Yeah, not quite. Doesn't really matter. The state lawyers opposed this. They're saying the problem is there was a case in Arizona and here that was under review where these attorneys basically abandoned a guy and didn't do anything they needed to do for his penalty phase.
Oh, okay.
They didn't bring in any mitigating evidence, and we've had 100 cases like this, not 100, but a few. And they didn't bring in any mitigating evidence. And the Arizona case, the guy ends up getting a new trial because of it, because they didn't. Or a new penalty phase. Here they're saying that this wasn't like that at all. That this isn't like the Arizona case because his attorneys didn't abandon him, and there's no smoking gun to the relatives. There's no we have 5 people here that would have said that his mom used to tie him up in a closet and torture him. Right. They didn't have that.
It's not that there's not enough mitigating. It's just that there isn't any.
They said basically the evidence they would have said is he was abused as a child, and that wouldn't have changed anybody's mind because it wasn't anything that was to the level of this, making this acceptable, basically, making this as the only outcome. So they say, then he bitches about the jury too, the strikes like I talked about, and they say, quote, "It's clearly within the discretion of the trial court to grant additional preemptory challenges upon exhaustion of the statutory number of strikes." The problem was his attorney wanted to strike somebody else. And what we talked about, he said, well, I'd like to strike that person, but I can't. I'm out of strikes. And the judge basically said, look, if the state agrees to you getting more strikes, both sides getting more strikes, I don't give a shit. Yeah. That's your fucking case. You got, like I said, you're in the front yard. You guys fight it out.
That's right.
Tell me your rules. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened here. And the state said, well, I don't want any more strikes. I'm happy with my number of strikes. If they struck too many people, and they can get fucked. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that's an abuse of something, which it's not, because as they say, the statute clearly states that it's trial court's discretion. Well, the state was offered, and the state said, no, we don't want any. You already used yours. You knew how many strikes you had. Tough shit. That's how it goes. So he asserts that the trial court abused its discretion by deferring to the prosecution on the issue of whether or not to grant an appellate, grant him additional challenges, rather than the judge. This is what I mean about it was weird that the judge was like, I don't know, I don't really care. No, he said, can I have an extra challenge? And it's the court's decision. It's the court's job to decide whether he should get it or not, period. And instead, the judge said, I don't care. What do you think, state? It's all murky gray area.
Everybody gets a chance to be Judge Day. That's what today is. And so every choice that comes up, I'm going to give each person the opportunity.
Everybody's got the opportunity. Hey, it's Democracy Day. If I order pizza, will everyone have a slice? Will you have a slice? Just state, you're good. You'll have 2. Okay. Everyone's chipping in $5 each. Okay. The judge is getting a pizza fund together.
The judge is like, somebody bring this shit to order. Here,
come on.
Wrap this gavel.
Let's go. Let's take that. So yeah, but it's a gray area, and it is a gray area that you can parse because it says the court, it's the discretion of the trial court to grant. Mm-hmm. So the discretion of the trial court to grant means that they're supposed to grant, but it also could mean that it's their discretion to decide how they grant. Yeah. So it's very murky, and it's written like that on purpose. Shit's written to be interpreted on purpose. So they said that his complaints at the trial court's unreasonable and most unusual deference to the state regarding his request for additional strikes deprived him of a fair trial. And they said that from the comments on record, they said it seemed comfortable. It seemed that the court felt comfortable refusing his request for additional challenges because it was satisfied with its previous rulings and it was prepared to deny any other challenges. So they're really using the judge's words against him here. They said they discern no abuse of discretion in the trial court's decision to deny extra challenges. So they said that's overruled. Also, there's a chain of custody evidence problem here. This is some OJ shit here. There's points of error here. The trial court, he's saying improperly permitted testimony regarding DNA evidence when the state failed to establish an unbroken chain of evidence for a blood sample that was used in DNA testing, which is an issue.
It's a problem.
We need to keep our shit together like that. But if you take that and throw it in the garbage, he still goes to the death chamber, so it doesn't matter. They don't need DNA. 8 people watched him do it in the front yard. And he said he did it. DNA not necessary here at this point. So they said that the other one was that he says that he's charged with murdering Sharon and Guy in the same criminal transactions and same criminal transaction. That's where this blood sample comes in, because he's trying to say that wasn't during the same thing for some reason, even though it was. He's saying that they placed a blood stain on a blood stain card. Forensic DNA analyst for the Texas Department of Public Safety Laboratory performed a DNA comparison on the blood sample collected from the outside of a gun barrel that was used to beat Fernandez with. He also testified that the DNA profile of the blood sample obtained from the gun was consistent with that. They're saying that the medical examiner testified regarding Fernandez's autopsy and the preparation of DNA samples. Apparently, the routine procedure is that they perform is the following. He says, in obtaining specimens of either body tissues or body fluids, those body fluids or body tissues are removed either by me, who's the medical examiner, or the person assisting me at the autopsy. At the time the autopsy is performed, they are placed in some sort of specimen container, either a jar, a vial, or a test tube, and they're sealed and labeled. They said that the labeled specimens placed inside a plastic bag, they're sealed by the medical examiner with the date and all that shit on it.
Sure.
So they said from that point on, he said, I did make a record of specimens obtained. The specimens are placed personally into a locked chamber room, and I sign a piece of paper indicating that I placed those specimens there. Okay. There's a process. And from that point, the toxicology staff picks up the specimens and blah, 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 blah. They run tests on them. Sure. So they ask him, did you perform autopsies on Guy Fernandez and Sharon Thurman? And he said he did. He said he collected the samples, and they said, is an assistant didn't do it for you? And he said it's possible that it would be some of the specimens might have been taken by the assistant, so it depends on which specimens you're referring to. But if the specimens are taken by the assistant, they are doing it while I am standing right beside them taking the specimen. They're working as a team.
I'm here too.
They're there too. That would be like going to a chef and a sous chef and going, which is the one who put my fucking garnish on? Who cares? We all work together, and I taught him how to garnish shit. So if he garnished it, that's how I garnish it.
It was done right.
It doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. What is that guy supposed to do? Stand there with his dick in his hand and his thumb up his ass, waiting for this? Why is he even there then? Right. Otherwise, he wouldn't need the fucking assistant. So they said they're specifically talking about vials of blood that would have been collected from the bodies. And he said those may or may not have been taken by me directly. If they weren't taken by me directly, they were taken by the assistant. And I was right there at the scene with him, either holding up the specimen so he could obtain it or standing right next to him. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they left like 3 interns in a room with the bodies and said, jump up on down on, get some blood samples, fuck them in the ear. Who cares? It's all controlled. Jesus Christ. And they said, then they go into what type of education do these assistants have? It doesn't matter. I went to medical school and I'm standing next to him telling him exactly what to do. So who fucking cares?
They're probably in medical school.
Well, sometimes. He says most of them have at least a high school education. Some have additional training in performing autopsies because they're just medical lab assistants. Uh-huh. But they have, they're being supervised.
You can just do that shit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can be an assistant. Yeah.
What kind of fucking crazy person does that?
I bet you anything we will have listeners that do that.
Yeah.
Goddamn guarantee someone will be like, I do that.
Oh my God, insane.
Guys, yeah, we always have somebody that does shit that scares us.
Fuck.
Yeah. So they're talking about all this, and they're saying, do you remember taking these specific examples, or do you remember watching the assistant, or are you just assuming? They're trying to make it sound like it's real willy-nilly down in the lab. They're all running around doing bong hits and fucking, they got prostitutes in one room, and lab coats are swinging up and with their dicks flopping around.
It's a Motley Crue green room.
Yeah, that's what it is. And they're like, hey, Nikki, did you take the blood sample? Nah, bro, Tommy's doing it. Cool, man. Just fucking put it on my desk when you're done, man. Like,
Tommy just snorted it.
Yeah, he just snorted the whole fucking thing, bro. It was fucking sick. Sick. No. None of that's happening.
Unbelievable.
He says that is a standard procedure in all procedures. The specimens would never be taken without me being present. So his whole assertion here is that the assistant taking a blood sample or handling these specimens in any way breaks the chain of evidence, and all the evidence is garbage.
They're clearly unqualified.
Which is, if that guy had to do every little detail of everything, he'd need 9 arms, or they'd have to have a shitload of medical examiners there. A lot of them to do that here. Everything's under the supervision. So they said without evidence tampering, most questions concerning care of custody and evidence go away, basically. It's not about the admissibility of the evidence. Trial court did not abuse its discretion in admitting the evidence, and points of error can go fuck themselves. They talk about the statute, the Texas death penalty statute, saying that the court's denial of his motion to exclude the death penalty as a possible punishment is what he's putting out there. He contends that he says that the motion, he challenged the constitutionality of the state's discretion to seek the death penalty, which Texas has been, they've really... Yeah. This isn't like a mentally handicapped minority teenager that we're talking about that they've taken to the electric chair on a very little evidence. This is a dude who had every opportunity to not do what he did and have it seen by everyone he's ever met and his offspring and his brother and everybody else. So this is a different thing here. They say that he argues that the penalty woefully fails to provide a standardized method for determining death worthiness, which, that's the problem with the death penalty. You just nailed it.
Right, but that's the point of the system, is it can't be fucking uniform.
That's why the death penalty is not our favorite thing in the world. But in a case like this, it's like, you fucking did it. Just run him over with a truck at this point.
At anything, this is as uniform as it gets.
This is pretty uniform. He says that this failure eliminates rationality and consistency in the decision to seek the death penalty, so it violates his due process, 14th Amendment, all that shit. Yeah. They say the state has the discretion to seek the death penalty, and the prosecutorial discretion is constitutional, and we don't know what you're talking about. We made a law that they followed, so that's obviously not a law we're going to say is a bad law now. They can say it's a bad law, but it's still a law that we are following. So this isn't the Supreme Court that's going to overturn laws. It's a state appeals court. They're going to overturn a decision, but not a law to make that. So he also complains that they said the future dangerousness is a special issue. That's one of the things for the death penalty. One of the issues was future dangerousness.
He's dangerous right now and forever.
Yeah, that's why they showed the escalation of all this. And they said that's unconstitutional because the aggravating factors are vague and undefined. It also settled that the terms probability of criminal acts and violence and continuing threat to society need to be defined a little better for the jury. I think jury could understand continuing threat to society.
Yeah.
I don't think that's something that you need a legal instruction over.
That's a pretty easy opinion.
If we let him out, would you be scared if he'd come to your house? End of fucking story. Continuing threat to society.
Can he date your daughter?
Yeah. You cool with that? Exactly. So he also complains that the death penalty statute is unconstitutional in Texas because it's open-ended and unstructured. He asserts that the death penalty statute's unconstitutional because it fails to assign burden of proof to the mitigation special issue there. He also says that the appellant, he claims that the 10-12 rule requiring at least 10 no votes for the jury to return a negative answer for future dangerousness and at least 10 votes to return an affirmative answer to the mitigation issue violates this shit because it's not like a 50-50 whatever is what he says. All of those are overruled, all the death penalty ones. Also another one here saying that that they said the death penalty statute is unconstitutional because it fails to inform the jury that a single holdout juror on any special issue would result in an automatic life sentence rather than the death sentence. And they said, the state said, we've repeatedly addressed and rejected this, so go away. 10 is another death penalty structure thing that doesn't matter because it's just bullshit. He's just talking about things in the law. Basically, this whole thing, he's making all these points a lot of it is it's got to be about technical death penalty shit. He can't say like, you found me guilty and I wasn't. That's really hard for him to say. So after all this, they say, no thanks, affirmed, and fuck off. Okay. Get him out of there. So 2005, he files a motion for appointment of counsel in federal court. They appoint him a special another federal counsel there, and they do a writ of habeas corpus, and that is rejected as well.
Fantastic.
It's a 5-claim writ here. He says apparently his lawyer fucked up one of his appeals here. Mm-hmm. 2 of his appeals. One of them, there was things that were misnumbered and mislabeled. 5 record-based claims didn't belong in the writ, according to the trial judge's findings. And more important, the judge noted that the lawyer, quote, did not attach or reference new evidence in support of his claims, which is all shit you have to do.
Right.
He just did like a terrible Wikipedia read.
And no numbering.
And
just numbering it wrong.
He just basically did a Wikipedia cut and paste and was like, there you go, there's the case. And they were like, you have to have like sources and shit like that. So February 2008, he's denied habeas relief in federal court. He's declining any media requests for interviews while on death row too. He's doing that. The problem is there is another appeal where his lawyer, and this happened for a bunch of death penalty cases, the lawyer filed shit late. What? They filed things late. Their attorneys failed to meet deadlines, waiving the last constitutionally required review before the death sentence is carried out. Huge fuck up.
This is a man whose life is about to end.
Huge fuck up.
And you don't have like a timer set?
Bro, put it on your phone.
Have a calendar alert?
Yeah, this is a 2006. Put it on your phone.
Absolutely.
Put it on your BlackBerry, asshole. What is wrong with you? I don't even know what to say about this. This is one of those things where, like, you worry if, like, let's say you have your cabinets redone in your kitchen or something, you worry that they're going to fuck it up. This is life or death. Like, this guy's got to know how to do his job. You really have to be good at this. You can't just fucking do murder death appeals and not pay attention.
When time is of the essence and you're just letting that slip away?
One guy named Johnny Johnson was executed when his lawyer missed a federally mandated filing deadline by 24 hours.
What the fuck,
So they executed the guy. Another one of his attorneys made the same mistake for Thurmond, his guy here. The lawyer waited until after business hours on the last day the appeal could be filed.
What is this, your taxes, bro? Get it done.
Until after business.
What
like,
are you doing?
Shit, it's almost 5? Dude, what the fuck? And then he blamed it on a malfunctioning filing system for his tardiness because in court, okay, I used to be a process server and shit like that. So when you file court documents, all these courts have these late drop-off windows where you can go file shit late, and you can't go in the court. It's just like a window outside, and you do it. And you have to electronically stamp everything, right. And when you do, it still stamps the day of that day. Okay. It doesn't go to the next day yet. That's why they do it. So you're just getting them in. You're filing them so they're in that day. But if it was set to cut off at a certain time and say, okay, now it's the next day's filing because that's when we get it, which that might have been how they do it, then it says the next day, and then it's too late. That's what happened to this guy. Hey, asshole, get him in at 3 o'clock, you fucking idiot. So he blamed the machine for dating these things, saying that it should have dated it that day. Shouldn't have to have this argument, you know what I mean?
Get up there earlier.
Yeah. This is the second time this happened with this attorney. Exact same excuse. The judge went batshit about this, saying you fucking used that excuse once before and now you're using it again. You know how it works, asshole. Get it in before 5 o'clock. That's honestly crazy. This is fucking nuts. They said that they pointed out that the problems in the previous case, the lawyer already knew the machine did that and could have easily filed electronically by just using his computer because most states let you do electronic filing.
Because it's 2006.
He didn't even have to send a runner down there.
It's not 1972.
It's crazy. The late filings came in death row cases overseen by federal judges in the Southern District. The judge said one of the judges said a district judge said he was unaware of the problem and didn't want to comment on it. I don't know shit. I don't know. I don't care.
How many people are on death row in Texas? You know what I mean? I mean,
a lot.
What, 500? Is it that many?
A few,
yeah, that's what I mean. There's probably 300 attorneys representing them, maybe more.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. How the fuck do you have that one important person,
dude,
and you're not? Their case is so important How are you
just
not
don't give a
filing
shit.
that on
Yeah,
time?
you just don't
How do you not do it?
It's not everyone. Just because you went to law school and graduated doesn't mean you have your shit together.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
That's a damn good point.
In the end, that's what it is. I mean, we know a lot of lawyers, and they're animals.
Yeah.
They're great people. Don't get me wrong. We had fun with them.
Yeah.
Like, especially like Houston, we partied with those guys. They're great, but they're fucking monsters.
My buddy Jay in Idaho's a lunatic.
They're animal people. They're fun, but like I said, like they need to be corralled, we'll say. So yeah, a specialist here, and this is an anti-death penalty person said, quote, any decent judges would be deeply ashamed of the quality of legal representation in most capital cases in Texas. The very least they could do about it would be to prohibit lawyers who miss the statute of limitations from taking another case and referring them to the bar for disciplinary proceedings. Yeah, I completely agree. Sure. And Texas is famous for not giving a shit if your lawyer falls asleep in court, because that's happened before. People have been denied appeals and executed because their lawyer fell asleep during their death penalty trial.
Wow.
And they said, well, he wouldn't have said anything that would have changed it. That's what they said, basically, and put these people to death. Like, your lawyer has to be awake at least. Can we have that?
How boring.
Jesus Christ.
How boring is this case that you just fall asleep?
They're probably drunk and hungover and didn't care enough to fucking prepare for the case that night.
It's like
here.
a pilot drinking and flying. What are you doing up there?
You're just asking for trouble here. So this all keeps going on. They said the last appeals, certain appeals weren't tracked. It was a fucking mess. So he is obviously, Thurman is obviously, he doesn't know what to do here. He actually gives an opinion on this. They said that he worries he'll be put to death before any appeals judge ever hears his claim. Now he's claiming innocence, by the way.
What?
Now he's not saying they shouldn't execute me. Now he's saying I'm an innocent man.
Oh, God.
So he says he fears that he'll be put to death before any appeals judge ever hears his claim to be innocent or any other challenge to his conviction. He said, quote, I'm lost and I don't know what to do. I haven't had no representation since I've been here. I ain't had no representation. So there you go. He hasn't had no representation. So, apparently the judge ruled that in a bunch of these cases, it was too late to be reconsidered. You guys can all go fuck yourselves. Mm-hmm. Like, that's goddamn crazy. By the way, in this article, that is like, it's an article saying how could this attorney's a piece of shit and these guys are not being treated fairly, which is fine. But when you're doing that shit, do your fucking homework, because this is Houston Chronicle. I believe Houston Chronicle. I don't want to damn them if it's not them, but I'm 90% sure it's them. Wrote this in the paper, quote, a jury concluded that Thurman, who had no previous criminal history, shot and killed his wife and neighbor in 2001. When you're reading that, you're going, well, maybe he is innocent. He has no criminal history, and then he's being railroaded and blah, blah, blah. No. Plenty of criminal history. Yeah. He has no felony convictions. Mm-hmm. That's what he doesn't have. Mm-hmm. And they took that from a court document saying, because I read the court document, says he has no prior felony convictions, but here's a bunch of shit that he did.
That's good. But they didn't see here's the different shit he did?
They didn't read that part.
They stopped reading
The press said and they took no felony convictions as no previous criminal history, which no felony convictions and no felony convictions and no previous criminal history are way different. Yeah. Way fucking different. Yeah. There are fucking gangsters who are on trial for RICO violations that could go away for 100 years that had no felony convictions. It didn't mean they had no prior criminal history. Fucking ridiculous here. So that's a load of shit. I didn't like that at all. So yeah, he's worried he's not going to get his shit heard. Then a federal appeals court said that they will allow lawyers for a few inmates, including him, to move forward with an appeal it initially rejected earlier because it was filed one day late. It was the Fifth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals said prosecutors erroneously argued in the case of Keith that his attorneys could have filed their appeal electronically rather than send it through the mail. Apparently they didn't have that yet when the filing happened. So that's why he was given another chance. So he appeals all of this, and he does not appeal. The weird thing is 2011, they affirmed the district court's decision and told him to fuck off. Mm-hmm. He has one chance left to petition the U.S. Supreme Court, and he does not do that. He does not do that at all. His last minute appeal that he does is over the same shit that was rejected with the Arizona case with the attorneys. So they said no. So March 7th, 2012 is execution day.
Wow.
Here.
That is past.
That's way past. Yeah. March 7th, 2012. They said he was chatty, is how they described him, as the witnesses came into the rooms and by the death chamber. And he said to people, look to the victims' relatives and everything. He said, quote, "It makes me sick for you to look at me like that. It makes me sick for you to look at me like that," he says. That's what he says to them. That's not his last words. That's what he says when they're bringing him in there. He just looks at them and says that. Then
not like this. He's saying that face that you're making right now makes me sick.
Makes me sick because you're acting like I'm guilty.
Oh, boy.
And his last words really, really sum that up. He says, quote, "All I want to say is I'm innocent. I didn't kill my wife. Jack Leary shot my wife, then her dope dealer, Guy Fernandez. Don't hold it against me, Bill. I swear to God I didn't kill her. Go ahead and finish it off."
Oh, boy.
And they started with the drugs, and he said, "You can taste it." That was his last word about the drugs. When they started injecting him, he said, "You can taste it." And then he passed out, and that was that. So I didn't kill my wife.
What an eerie last bunch of words.
I swear to God I didn't kill her as you're being executed.
Right.
I mean, I'm an atheist, but Christ almighty.
Yeah.
I'm not swearing to God something false as I'm being killed just because you don't want to, who knows? You know, you don't have to tempt fate. Who cares?
If you murdered her, whatever's coming next is going to be pretty fucking horrible anyway.
Yeah, I feel like at the end, that would be one thing, but it doesn't matter. So he said you can taste it. He's pronounced dead at 6:22 p.m., 11 minutes after they started the whole thing. Jesus Christ, man. The district attorney here, who's prosecuted him, said, quote, "It is my hope that the public takes the time to recognize the brutal nature of the crime, the impact of domestic violence, and that it has on in our communities, and to remember the two victims who died at the hands of this defendant, Sharon Thurman and Guy Fernandez. Our thoughts and prayers remain with the family, as well as the hope that tonight's event will bring them some closure." I don't like they said event.
I know.
Tonight's event. Like I just picture like a tent with flags and like it's a big car sale. The big Memorial Day sale. It's an event down at fucking Avondale Chevrolet. Come on down.
I saw a disco ball and slow music.
It's an event.
It's our event.
It's an event, yeah. It's a catered event.
It's dark out and there's purple lighting.
It's very nice. So he is buried in the Captain Joe Bird Cemetery, which is where they bury people who are killed on death row. In the saddest, I've never really looked, but if you ever look at Texas inmate cemeteries, it's the saddest shit you're ever going to see.
It's a bunch of white crosses?
No, they have these really shitty looking like plain stones, but first of all, it's Texas and they don't like keep the grass up. Like in a normal cemetery, it's for the comfort of people who come there to see their dead grandmother, so there better be grass. You don't want dead grass and big spots of dirt there. You know, it's red. You don't want that. Yeah. That's what it's like. There's like no grass, and the fucking tombstones are just painted. Like they just took grease paint and wrote his fucking name, his inmate number, and the day he died, and that's it. Not even a fucking birth date on there, dude. Just fucking
Keith. Is cold.
Keith Thurman, fucking number blah 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 37 or whatever it was. Fucking 37/2012. Done. I'll post it on our social media with it, but it's fucking terrible.
Oh boy.
It's depressing as shit. Well, that's Magnolia, Texas.
Hand painted.
And it looks, and it's all like, you know, the names aren't straight. They're crooked because it's by hand. It's not like they're going to give me another stone. I messed it up. If they fuck up the spelling, they'll just cross it out and do another one. They don't care. Wow. They don't give a fuck about these people. So that is Magnolia, Texas. And that is a crazy ass story of a bad situation that just kept getting worse. It's just fucking terrible. Jesus Christ. I don't even know what to say there. That's just a mess.
I'm hung up on how you get buried.
That's crazy.
Is it just black paint on a rock?
Yeah, it's black paint on like the shittiest, cheapest. It's not like a nice stone. It's like a fucking barely.
Should just be a river rock.
It looks like a barely shaped river rock that they've made into like a headstone and then just fucking painted his name on there. Not even in neat handwriting. Wow. They didn't even say, who's got good handwriting? You're the tombstone guy. They just gave it to whoever. It's a fucking mess. Well, if you like that show, You can tell us about it very easily. You know what? You can tell the world about it by going to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, the purple icon, whatever it is, giving us 5 stars. It does help us out a ton. So if you want to help out the show, that's a way you can help drive us up the charts. It doesn't matter what you say on there. You can just say following instructions. Hey, they told me to give a review and I'm giving one. It's not for our ego. It's really just for business purposes. Also, head up over to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your small town murder and crime and sports needs. Listen to Crime and Sports.
Damn right.
Because it's just as insane, and we promise you, good God, do we promise, you don't have to like sports.
Yeah.
It's almost better if you don't. If you hate sports, it's even better to make fun of these people. So it's kind of fun. So do that. See Crime and Sports, and also look at all the merchandise. Pocket Robin t-shirts are up. Get your live show tickets all over the country. We have a big slate of shows. Omaha, Kansas City, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh are sold out. Get your tickets quick. And think about it this way. Get your tickets. Places like Cleveland, Pittsburgh is fucking close to you.
Right.
That is driving distance. So if people live in the middle and they were going to go to Pittsburgh, that's sold out. So they're all going to go to Cleveland now. This is how people do this shit. They go to the next city. We've noticed. So get your tickets now. Anything close to those, it starts to spill over into the next city. So if it's a small venue, so please do that. Get your tickets right now and don't miss out, because we put on a hell of a show. Florida's going to be fun. I can't, because it's Florida in July, but it's
first one.
It's still the first one. I'm pumped to kick that tour off. Tampa, Orlando, get your shit together. Order some tickets.
Yeah.
You slacking fucking humidity soaked bastards.
Stop enjoying your life.
Stop it, you moldy fucks, and goddamn do something for us. So yeah, buy some tickets, do all of that stuff. Also, you want to follow us on social media, do that, because there's one more show that's going to be released that hasn't been on sale yet. And when it's released, it's going to be before we do it. We're not going to be able to announce it the day it goes on sale on a show. So the only way to find out when it's on sale is social media. And I don't know how many tickets it is. It's in Charlotte, and I don't know how many tickets there are. So it could go fast. So you want to
coming soon too. I think
it's in the same weekend as Rally.
No, I mean it's coming like the on sale.
Yeah, it's a week. I think another week with the 10th or the 5th or something like that. It goes on sale. But we'll announce all of that then. Get all of that stuff. Also, follow us on social media, like we were saying. That's what I'm getting to. At Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. You can find us at any of those places. Also, you can be a hero of ours. And we're going to talk about these producers in a minute, because they're our light of our lives. We love them so much. They keep this show going, and they're the most appreciated people on the fucking earth. And I hope that sounds sincere enough, because there's no way to be any more sincere. We're just, goddamn it, we appreciate these people. You can be one of these people, one of our producers, extremely easily by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports, or heading over to PayPal and using our email, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com. And you can make donations there, and all those, you can get to those links right from Shut Up and Give Me Murder if you want. One-stop shop for everything small town murder related. With that said, Jimmie, I need to hear, it makes me feel good to hear names of people who like us and who are so goddamn awesome to us. So why don't you tell me now, hit me with them. Wait. Put on your karate outfit.
Yeah.
Now hit me with the names.
This week's executive producers are Gary Howard, Nilu Rafsanjani up in San Francisco. Happy birthday. Ann Pascucci. It's a last name. It's an Italian one, and I'm not good at it. I'm sorry. Griff Tugnut, Justin Miller, Clay Thorson, and Gonzo the Pug. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Rachel Cascaden, Travis Riggs, Heather Campbell, Thomas Smith, Jen Lamb. Sorry, Jen. Jesus. Jen Lamb, Brighton Christensen, Charmaine Valley. She donated twice, both ways, like the Patreon and through PayPal. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Jeff Hansen,
Eiffel Towered us.
Jesus, good Lord, that was a horrible. Jeff Hansen, Jason Fuller, Lisa Jaws, happy birthday, and her daughter said she's a panhandling bitch.
Yeah, well, so, right on.
Thank you, Lisa, and happy birthday. Kira Bai, Jaron Berkheimer, happy birthday. No, it's not a happy birthday. It's just Jaron. I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry. Jessica McDonald, Andrew Wellman, and his wife, Susan Lackey Wellman. Happy birthday. That one was the one where I was supposed to hit that. Jonathan Steekety.
Okay.
Stikiti, that's the
Stikiti.
guy. John Nagel, Ashley Vio, Joe Gilligan, Elizabeth Thompson, Melissa Green, Erica Barlin or Backlin. I can't tell if that's a K or an R because I'm terrible at this. Chris Voss, Michael Ayers, Shauna with no last name, Kaylee Kitsch or Kirsch, that's what that is. Eric Langenecker, Eric Langenecker, Chris G, Callie Shinkunis, Thomas Spade, Sarah Lazowski, Jordan Bennett, Liz Vasquez, Chris Kirby, Jessica McDonald, Paul Ruest, Samantha Kress. I forgot Paul's goddamn company name.
Oh, no.
Fuck. It's something about views.
We suck so
I'm
bad.
the worst. Butterman Simpson, Annie Kika, Anthony Canella, Rachel Stora, Marie with no last name, Jessica Nottingham.
We'll take it.
Depending on where she's at. Robert
It's
Spencer.
a British town. It's going to be Nottingham.
Antonio, I don't know how that's pronounced. Matthew Ray, Haley Ellis, Carol Braun, Jessica Sturgis, Joanne Ahern, Amy Ellis, Amanda Berry, Allison Morris, Martina Liwalonga. The one
Hey, Martina. Yeah, we love
Thank
Martina.
you.
Thanks, Martina.
Stephanie Butenhoff. Yes. David Wittis, Daniel Smith, Pam with no last name, Amy Sendejas, Penn Basingthwaite, Yep. Caroline Devine, Cece Clausen, Shirley Wellington, Jessica Johnson, Lauren Demarath, Kara Clymer, Melissa Lynn, Kelly Higby, Demetra or Fanos.
Hey.
I think.
Okay.
Janet Castle, Casey Tompton, Mike McNerlin, Aaron Gerber, Amanda Berrigan, Pat Longacre. It's Longacre, right? It's got to be.
You went two very different directions
I'm
there.
doing my best. Rebecca Lemmer, Bourbon the Doberman, Seth Douglas, David Albert, or Albury, that's what that is. Charmaine Hankey, Caitlin Ahrens, Hannah with no last name, Janice Hill, Lisa Stevens, and Kay with no last name. You guys are the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. We're fucking so appreciative and blown away by everything you guys do for us. So thank you a million times over. Thank you. And we've had people ask, like, if they'll say, I donated and I wanted my friend's name said and it wasn't said and this and that. If you have any kind of weird special request, weren't you telling people to message you?
Inbox me.
Inbox Jimmie on some social media, Instagram or Twitter or something. Much easier that way. Cause when he's looking through a list of stuff, it's hard to get every
names. It's hard to click on each one.
Exactly.
I try my best to see the messages because some of them are really, really nice.
They're
too.
great. They're amazing.
No, they're personalized
beautiful.
to somebody. They're just the words are really nice.
Yeah.
Those will fix us a little easier than words.
Those are they are. They really do. Yeah.
It's so personal.
It's private too. It's no one else sees it but us. So it's nice. But yeah, that's message Jimmie if you have a special. Hey, please shout out my mother for this donation or something like that, and we'll get that done for you. We really want to do it the way you guys want us to do it. It's just that part of the show is for you.
Exactly.
So we just want to help you guys out with that. So that said, thank you guys very much. And Jimmie, where can they find you if they want to find you in the world?
If
out
you
there?
want to find me to tell me that stuff, you can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And also Zach Cobb, Noki Tracy Wheeler, and Smidgen and Woo donated this week. Thank you guys so much. And all the Patreon supporters. You guys are fucking
amazing.
You guys do what nobody else wanted to do for us, and we thank you so much.
Thank you. By the way, somebody before I go, I'm at Jimmie P is funny, or copy and paste my last name from the show description. You know what I fucking say. You'll find me out there.
Yeah.
Quickly with this whole thing, people on social media, but no, you know what? Never mind. We'll talk about that another time. Okay. I'll talk about that at the top of the show because no one's going to hear this. So
okay.
Never mind that. That's for a broader audience. So that's good. Top of the show. Fuck that. Until next week, everybody. It's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.